Catch that rookie mistake?
Flame on.
No. There's no fucking. Oh, gee! There's no rookie mistakes. See, we get Jay on, and straight away the show goes.
It's not Jay's fault. You do it every time, Andrew. Don't blame him. Come on, we want him to come back.
TikTok, it's time to rock. TikTok, it's time to rock.
Hey now.
Good to see you guys. Good to see you. It's my pleasure to have, as usual, with us on the 5150 show, the Rev, Kurt S5150. On the bottom there, we have Brad all the way from Melbourne, and our very, very special guest, the handsome fellow somewhere, this guy here. There he is.
Hi, everybody. I don't know why I'm nervous, but I am.
Don't touch his ears.
No.
How can you not? They stick out enough.
Thanks for joining us, Jay.
Well, thanks for
good to have another fellow tax-paying American citizen on this show.
Well, I appreciate the invite.
Yeah.
It means a lot, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. So what's been going on, guys?
Well, we've just been listening to Andrew's potty mouth back in the green room, and he carried it on here. So I'm a bit what do you call it?
Fired up.
Frazzled by his, straight off the bat, he's already into the potty mouth. He's been a naughty boy.
I know.
I'm slow. I'm slow. I'm retarded.
I'm not frazzled. I'm offended.
You might want to watch out.
We're going to get some soap, and we're going to send it over to New Zealand. You're going to wash your mouth out, Andrew.
There's a reason they're not going to put this on DVD.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Jay. We watch your show quite a bit, so we're different time zones around the world, so we get to watch the playbacks. It's great.
Yeah, it's cool to be involved in this type of stuff, man. I don't know why am I nervous? Like, holy crap. This is crazy, but I appreciate you guys having me on. This is gonna be fun, and it's something that obviously, all of us are passionate as hell about, live at a net, because it's and we'll get into that. I don't want to.
Yeah,
it's not my show, so I'm just gonna sit back and listen. And when you guys want me to talk, let me know.
Well, one thing too, where Andrew can chime in after I'm done, but pre-COVID, which we're probably all sick of hearing that word, I had no idea that YouTube had anything but, videos and outtakes, or, people's video and concerts on their phone. I had no idea there's these things called Hangouts. And
what was this?
What's that?
How long ago was this?
Like a year ago, 2 years, back March.
Jesus, where the hell? Okay, so go ahead.
So I found Johnny Bean, and dude, I've watched like 250 of his episodes in like the last year and a half. One, due to COVID, and there's nothing else to do in life but sit at home. But also I sit right here every, 40, 50 hours a day at work. So I have them going while I'm working. But that's where I was introduced to Jay Hannon. My good friend Rob Johnson, of course, Johnny Bean. Jansen. Nez Balls, all those guys. But I was like, holy cow, there's people out in the world that are nerds just like me. Because when I was in high school, everyone was into, you know, Pearl Jam and Soundgarden and Nirvana. And I was like still Bon Jovi, Guns N' Roses, Van Halen, Motley Crue. And I was kind of an outcast because, you know, I didn't follow that grunge scene. And I live in Washington State where it's like the heart of grunge.
Yeah.
And it was just cool to see people on the internet that were into the same stuff that I was. And I watched, you know, the first couple, like 20 episodes of Johnny B, and then I saw your first one where you unboxed your Wolfgang, and then it was like, you know, 100, 200 episodes after that.
Jesus. Hey, now, speak of the devil.
There he is.
You're going to make a
chat up? Have we got the chat up, bro?
Put the helmet on. The strap goes under the chin. Oh, he's got it right there.
There you go. He's doing Florida.
So anyway, that's, you know, that's how I got to know Jay, and that's how I got to know Andrew as well. You know, with the Discord. I don't have it.
Where is it?
Thank you.
There it is. How old are you, Kurt?
I'm 43.
Okay, so I'm 44.
Yeah.
So
We're the same age. I graduated in 96.
Well, I failed once or twice, so
Yeah.
January of 97.
Okay. We're the same age. My brother introduced me to Van Halen kind of the same way as you. Yeah. Pretty cool.
Nerds.
Nerds. David Lee Roth? Come on. You serious? That guy wears nut huggers on stage. Right, Andrew?
Yeah. Who's going to do the roll call?
Chaps.
It's usually always me, so I'll get it up.
Arseless chaps.
Oh, assless chaps? Yeah. All right, let's do a quick roll call. So we have British Electric Blues 5150 show, Crappy Luxury, Ellen Vorshine. We have the one and only Fruitcake Tony.
Hey, Tony.
Yo, Tony. We got the Godfather, Johnny Bean.
Daddy Bean.
We have Johnny Bean's cousin, Johnny Heartbreaker. We also have Lenny Lou, and I'm assuming Mary. And Lenny, I'm going to be opening up your package. It came in the mail today, so I'm glad you're on.
Awesome.
Stick around, Fruitcake Tony.
Stick around,
Yes.
Fruitcake Tony.
Stick around. We have Majestic PB and J Cat. We have the one, the only Mark Tanner. We also have PBJT. Is that never mind. Steve Franklin, and then Thomas Santiago, and then whoever else.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
Is my name on that list, son of a gun?
We got Jay Hannon. We got Brad Cook, Hugh Caldwell. There's a few others straggling in.
Awesome. And if you guys can also remember while you're here, if you haven't hit the subscribe button to our channel, please do. And on the bottom there, you can see some Instagram accounts that are related to our channel. So you got Brad Cook Music, Easy, Simon Williams 33, Kurt S5150, and another good friend of our channel I happen to have. If you can log on to your Instagram and sign up, hook on to their accounts, that'll be great. And Jay has his account. There it is. So Jay can spell that because I can't pronounce it.
Just Marshy Band.
There you go. Close enough.
Easy.
Just Marshy Band.
There you go.
Easy.
Okay. Since we're going to be doing some seeing if you can pronounce it, I'm going to see if you two have done your homework. Brad, what's the instrumental on Balance?
Bleach Ethereum.
All right, good. Andrew, what's the instrumental on Balance?
That B word. Bleach Ethereum.
Yeah, nailed it.
Woo.
You
did
guys
it.
graduate.
Now, when did you guys finally realize what that actually meant?
I knew what it meant, but I had no way understanding of how to pronounce it. Had no way. I was always terrible with dinosaur names. T-Rex is the easiest one.
Yeah.
Must be the Aussie, the Aussie accent or something.
Yeah, so they did a balance show when I was on vacation, and they like totally butchered it. They were like michealanthony. They had all kinds of weird ways of pronouncing it. So I voice texted it to them, and then I think Brad played it 200 or 300 times on their next show.
You ever go on to like dictionary.com and you type a word in and you hit the sound
audio
talk button and it actually says the word for you?
Yeah.
I've never used that. Never used that, but I must have to look that up.
And you'll find, Jay, too, after the show's over, you'll have a little bit of an accent, either New Zealand or Australia, one of the two. Jeannie's going to be like, what in the world?
Well, Jeannie definitely likes the Australian accent. She makes me order, like if we go to order food or something, sometimes not that I have a good Australian accent, but she'll make me like order our food
off the $9.99 menu.
Yeah, and then she's like, we get out of the car and I'm like, why is the seat all wet?
Oh. Honey, this is an automatic. It's not a stick.
Oh, hey now.
Bleach Ethereum.
You got it.
Bleach Ethereum.
Bleach Ethereum.
Brad, put a bad word in and see what it says.
No, that's Kurt. That's actually Kurt.
That's
I
thought
good.
it was the official voice.
Bleach Ethereum.
That was him reprimanding me. I think he was reprimanding me and Andrew, but I think that was directed to me because I butchered it.
I'm doing it for your own future.
Yeah, thank you, Kurt. Thanks for schooling me, mate.
You bet, buddy. I love you.
Ooh.
Hey, there it is.
That's a
that was Pete. That's what I was wondering.
Yep.
He's got a pretty cool setup down there in his basement. That's his striped bar.
Everyone needs a striped bar.
Yeah, my wife won't let me stripe anything else in this house. Yeah.
Not even one wall?
No.
Really? Get her on. Where is she? Get her on here.
She's over at a barbecue. Otherwise, I would bring her on.
Barbecue, huh? At this time?
Yeah. They're having burnt sausages.
That's because Kurt's not cooking.
See, I would have done it in this room, except we have that stupid orange peel coating on the walls. So, if you stripe like some, paint or tape the wall to like paint, it's all going to drip between. And I'm like,
It bleeds.
Son of a bleach Ethereum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife's I almost said gynecologist.
You don't even know what she is. You don't even know what she does.
I almost said gynecologist.
Oh.
She's I don't even know. Man, it's been a long night.
I hope she
does
never
like
watches this video.
Botox and all that. So she has like almost a salon in my office. So I have like a bed here where she does micro needling and a bunch of stuff on people's face. So I can't really deck this out at this corner. Every time I get a new vinyl or new picture, she gets pissed.
So you said your office. I think if she were to tell this story, she would say, in my office, Kurt has all his Van Halen memorabilia hanging up on the walls. I think there's two sides to this story, my friend.
Yes, sir. She's not here. When she's not here, I'm the king of the castle.
That's right.
And when she's there, she wears the pants. Yeah.
I'm wearing her pants tonight.
Esthetician. My wife's in the chat right now. I'm gonna get
esthetician. Thank you. That's what she is. Thank you, Jeannie.
I gotta turn the air conditioner up.
Horrible husband.
I'm sweating in here. I'll be right back.
Hi, Jenny.
Never a sweat.
So what are we going to do, guys? We're going to do a bit of a unboxing at some point when Jay comes back, and we're going to go on and talk about Life Without a Net.
Yeah, I'll show a couple things that I already unboxed, but they're still sitting here, and I haven't even really done anything with them, if that counts. The first one, you guys collect these Van Halen tins?
Oh, yeah. Fruitcake Tony sent me one of those. Which one do you have?
So this is the last one in the collection. So this is Jump. These are all 4 live songs. And real cool. It came with 2 stickers.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Why don't you give me stickers in mine, Tony? No, I'm joking.
But Jay, the other ones are, I got them right here. Amsterdam. Don't Tell Me What Love Can Do. And then Can't Stop Loving You.
Yeah,
So there's a whole
I have the blue one, too.
Collect
Except
the whole set.
I guess when Tony was putting the guitar picks in it, because he sent me a bunch of Fruitcake Tony / Justice for Jay guitar picks.
Oh, nice.
When I got that crappy Kiesel guitar that he felt bad about, so he sent me a tin full of guitar picks.
Oh, cool. You got the blue one. I like the blue one the best.
But he put tape on it, and when I tried to take the tape off, it peels the. So I was like,
maybe he was trying to stripe it.
Hey, that's great. Maybe I should just paint it. It's already striped. It's already taped.
Hey, Cobra.
Cool.
Hey, Mike. Hey, Metal Mike.
What's up, Cobra Kai? This is another thing. Tony sent me one of these Backstage Passes. I got a live right here, right now, sitting here, but I ordered a Balance Tour Backstage Pass. I just got to get a lanyard for it. But as you guys know, that was the first Van Halen show that I ever saw when I was a young lad. And then in the same theme, I picked up one of those itinerary books. And Bastage. If you guys, Andrew or Brad, if you haven't seen these are the actual itinerary books that they hand out to the crew, and it shows each city and date. Where they're going, where they're staying, where the nearest hotel is, when they have to be at the venue, just the whole 9. So it's pretty cool. This is, I guess, part 3 of the leg for the Bounce Tour. So that's pretty cool. And then lastly, I picked up the Japanese version. I can't do it anymore.
Oh, he knows where he's wearing his wife. Oh, I get it. Wow, man.
I'm wearing the pink pants tonight.
That is awesome. And the belt.
And the belt and the white shoes.
The bat belt. What is it called? Not the bat belt.
No better time to humiliate yourself when the pressure's on.
That is awesome.
All right. Lastly, I got the Japanese version of Balance with crossing over on it. So that's it.
Awesome, Kurt. Sorry.
All right. You guys have a good night.
Yeah. All right, cool. Now the show can begin, guys.
Come back. Come back. All right, Brad. What do you got there? What do you got, brother?
I can't follow that, Andrew. I can't follow that.
Oh, yeah, unless you're wearing pink pants, don't bother, right?
These are definitely not mediums. I
No,
ordered
just
mediums, and
depends
they're
on
like
Super
medium.
tight.
Yeah.
Oh, that was hilarious. Okay,
It's like
this is
snuggling a couple Tic Tacs in the crotchal area.
Take those. Okay, it's other things you've got on.
we got a package from Fruitcake Tony. So I haven't opened it yet. So I thought I'd do it on our show. So Fruitcake Tony, thank you so much. I think I know what it is, but let's have a look. It's got so much tape on it. Far out.
There it is.
There it is. Look at this. It's in a little zip bag and everything. Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, we all got one.
Yeah. Beautiful, bro. Well done.
Thank you so much. White's my color.
Beautiful.
I'll wear that with pride. Thank you, Tony.
Nice.
The boat dropped it off.
Yeah, where the hell is mine? I think Ellie put it somewhere.
I had to take the Renob pants off. I can't wear them any longer.
They look like they were some kind of material that would make you sweat.
Yeah. Never.
Oh, Edward, you should have went to the bathroom before the show.
Don't stand up now in your undies, all right? We don't want to see that.
You guys can laugh at my expense for 5 minutes, and that's it.
Oh.
All right.
Oh.
I'm going to open this one up from Lenny Lou. Those of you who don't know Lenny Lou, she's an absolute sweetheart, huge Van Halen fan. When I went to the Tom Weber event, she asked me to get her one of his picks, or she actually asked where she could buy one, and I happened to get another one, so I sent her one. And she had a whole grip of Van Halen magazines. And if you guys know the Inside Van Halen magazine that they used to send out to subscribers back in the late 90s, 2000s, she has a bunch of those. And I have all of them, but I think 3 in the whole collection. So she had an extra magazine that she sent me. So I'll open it up. I guess I just spoiled what it was. But
Oh, way to put it back. Oh.
no suspense. Oh, there's something extra in here. Oh, she got all kinds of stuff in here.
Oh, man.
Cool. All right. First off, Wave 107.3 FM. I'm assuming that is in the Boston area, right? Lenny Lou, hopefully.
Don't know.
She lives in the same area as Rob, and she's going to kill me if I tell you this, but Rob pushed Mary up against the stage in the 2004 tour trying to get Eddie to sign something.
What?
Yeah, that guy's a real jerkwad.
Wait a second. How do they know each other?
I don't think so.
So wait, whoa. This is a scandal. Wait a second. So how did who
She
knew,
told me the story.
So who found out? Like was she like, I know that guy. Wait a minute, that son of a bitch.
Yeah, she saw him on the Johnny Bean show and said, "That's the guy that ran over Mary at the concert." Short little
that is
bastard.
awesome. Wow, man.
Yeah, old Rob. You know, he'll do anything for Van Halen's sweat on him.
Wow.
All right, really cool. So here's the Inside magazine. Van Halen 3 with Garycherone.
Oh.
Dude. So you guys saw on the Fruitcake Tony show.
Doesn't even look like you.
I don't know. This is the document for Walter Matthey Rock and Roll Emporium, Pomona, California. This is that document that she shared on Fruitcake Tony's show. She gave me a
wow.
Phone number at the bottom there.
Yeah,
Wow.
Alex Van Halen. So maybe we'll highlight this on another show.
Yeah.
Andrew.
Yeah.
And then she surprised me with this, which I told her I didn't have, and she gave me one. So awesome. This is another great mag that I've been looking for.
Yeah.
So, Lenny New, thank you very much. I appreciate it. You're the best. Awesome.
Spoiled,
I know.
bro. Well done.
Look at that. Remember that guy?
Yeah, we know that guy.
Pretty cool. Thank you, Lenny Lou.
That's amazing.
I know what I'm going to be doing tonight. Yeah.
Oh,
Man.
You're a good sport, Kurt.
You guys just hound me. You're lucky I come back.
You can't go, mate. Andrew's got contacts, mate. You know that. He'll send them round.
oh my gosh. Seriously though, seriously, well done, guys. It's always good to do an unboxing, and especially when it's good stuff, good gear. T-shirts. We love T-shirts here. The Rev loves magazines, and it's always good to be on a show where we can share all that goodness. So thank you, Lenny Lou, and thank you, Tony. My T-shirt's still coming. Hopefully I'll get it probably maybe next year. I'll present you, Brad. I'll present you, bro. Hold on.
I've got jeans on, by the way. I've got jeans on, by the way. So
you're not wearing Reeboks?
I haven't got pink pants on. All right.
Okay. All right. That's good. Just pink knickers.
What'd you call me?
Pink knickers.
Be careful, boys.
All right. So what are we here for?
Well, let's present yourself there, Andrew.
Oh my gosh. All right then. Hold on. So we're here, ladies and gentlemen, because of this. It means a lot to us.
Is yours G-rated?
I've got the X-rated version.
Oh.
I saw a G on there. I was wondering what that is. Germany?
G for grand.
Oh yeah, I should have got my day.
My brother had this sucker on Laserdisc. He had Live Without a Net, Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade, and what else did he have? He had like 3, and that was it.
Wet Knockers 7.
Porkies. Yeah, he had it on Laserdisc, and every time I would want to watch it, like I had to go put snow gloves on to pull it out and put it on the. It was.
So he didn't get, because he probably knew.
Yeah, I was a grease.
You got my fingerprints.
Right, I'll punch you right in the face. You scratch that thing.
Yep. Well, the copy the first copy that we ever owned was I guess one of the first airings on MTV, because there's a bunch of parts, and I still have the VHS somewhere, but certain times during the live concert, it would say Closet Classics will air after the Van Halen concert. So I don't know if it was the first showing of it on MTV. I don't remember, but it's just cool, like to have that kind of I mean, we wore that tape out, man. God.
Yeah, the second version was VHS, but it was a copy of a VHS, so it was a pirated version. But I got that after Live Right Here, Right Now came out. I bought that, and then I got the Live Without a Net from a friend of mine. But yeah, I wore them out too. Insane.
I've mentioned with Johnny before about I would love to see a reissue of it, a Blu-ray version with maybe obviously the original footage, but also like different camera angle options or something like that, and obviously with the songs that they cut out of it.
Right.
I mean that would be friggin' awesome. Holy cow.
John Biel had alternative angle shots for one song, didn't he? That he showed one time.
Yeah, and he put a comparison video or something up, didn't he? Showing like both at the same time, which is pretty cool. I mean, we're all like total nerds with this stuff. Like, no regular people would probably be like, "Why do you care about having a different angle for something?" It's like because
yeah. There's a point where he throws a cigarette out, and then there's another lit one already on his headstock that people don't realize that it was an edit. you know?
Yeah, I want the footage of when he breaks the string and brings the 5150 over to Zeke and grabs the Steinberger. I want to see that whole thing happen, you know?
Right.
I'm the same. I actually want to see I actually keen to see the whole performance, not just what we've got on DVD. So, yeah.
So, Brad, when were you first introduced to it?
Well, I went backwards. I got Live Without a Net after Right Here, Right Now. So, like, that whole carnal knowledge era was when I was buying all my stuff for Van Halen. So, obviously, I went backwards to Live Without a Net. I bought it on VHS and then DVD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how old were you?
Oh, I don't know, maybe 18, 17, around that age there. When I was first started working pretty much as an apprentice, I was out just buying every bit and piece of memorabilia and stuff that I could get my hands on. But it was a different era back then. You'd buy stuff because, you know, there was no such thing as Spotify and Apple Music, and there was no YouTube really. So you had to go buy what you wanted. And I think Andrew's alluded to this in the past. You know, we weren't blessed like you guys in America with lots of footage, lots of everything. We had to like go find it and we had to go buy it. So it was, you know, I mean, we only got to see Van Halen once on the Van Halen 3 tour. You know, they never came to Australia or New Zealand really any other time. So, yeah.
So Brad, let me ask you then, since you saw Live Right Here, Right Now first, what did you think when you watched Live Without a Net for the first time? Was it like, whoa?
I was blown away, obviously. You know, to see that era of, I think it's a wonderful era for Van Halen. You know, that 5150 era for Van Halen is probably one of my favorite eras coming up to like carnal knowledge and balance, because they just seemed to have so much more energy, and there was like a rebirth. They just seemed to be, I don't know, the songs were more song orientated. I mean, I love early Van Halen too. I love, you know, the first records with David Lee Roth as well. But I just find that Sammy era, my introduction to Van Halen was through Sammy and Dreams and 5150. But when I got Live Without a Net, watching him do a lot of that stuff, it was like mind blowing to me, because I was sitting there going, even watching him, like, as I'd listen to it and I go, how's he doing it? And then I'd see it being done and I'd go, it's just not possible to do that on a guitar. Like, to actually watch him doing it, it was like I was being schooled, and schooled in a way that knowing I'll never be able to do that, because there's no way that people can play like that. And obviously there is, but at the time I was just like, gave up trying, because it was like, it was that good to me that it's like, well, that's his. I can't go there. I can't even touch that stuff. It's not, you know, I think a lot of guitar players were one way or the other at that point, were either go with it and just go full tilt trying to play like that, or go, well, I've got to go the other way because I can't ever do that, that was me at the time.
I think one of the things Jay's alluding to is Live Right Here, Right Now was two shows paced together. We all know they redid the audio in the studio, so it wasn't 100%. It wasn't 100% live. Where Live Without a Net, I mean, they bagged the first show. Probably, we don't know why, but we'll get into it a little bit later. But I think it wasn't good enough, and they caught lightning in a bottle on the second show. Right? Is that kind of what you're getting at, Jay? That Live Without a Net was truly live.
Oh yeah, I was just trying to think, like, you know, it happens a lot where somebody's first introduction to a band is one album, and it's, you know, it might be your opinion that that's one of their worst albums, but you can understand why it's their favorite, because it's the first album from that band or first concert they saw of that band. So I kind of wanted to get somebody's perspective of somebody that saw Live Without a Net after Right Here, Right Now, to kind of see if they feel the same way, like, whoa, these guys were on fire back then. Look at this energy, and it's like it was a party and they were having fun. You know, so it's cool that you actually get the same type of thing, even though you saw it after. You know,
it's funny because, like, you watch the David Lee Roth era and they were still having party time and fun, but they just seem to be rejuvenated with Sammy on that Live Without a Net DVD. It's pretty magical, you know, and there's some imperfections in there, if you listen very closely, you can hear some slight imperfections here and there vocally, a little bit on guitar, a little bit, but they left it there because it's perfect.
Yeah. And that's why release a live concert video if you're going to re-record everything? Like you can't match that live energy, and I get it when you release just a live audio concert, then it's different. But when you're watching a band perform live and jumping around the stage, you're like, okay, well, there's a reason why that note wasn't, bent to the right note or something. Like, you get it because he's in the air, the guitar's up here and stuff, like, you get it.
Yeah.
But when, so when I heard that was re-recorded, the whole thing with Right Here, Right Now, it's like, it never really had that magic, and the whole two show thing pieced together, and you're seeing him wear different clothing and Eddie with the different guitar because his main one, something happened during the first song. It's like, just the continuity isn't right. I want to see, like Kurt says, the lightning in a bottle thing, man. Like that, they were on fire that night in New Halen, Connecticut.
Yeah. And you go to a live show and you get to see all that. And if I think back to the 6 times I've seen them live, they're all special and different, but there was no overdubs. There was no corrections. It was them, like, real, That's the way it should be. If you're going to document it, make it real. Yeah.
Yeah. It's awesome. I think you watch Right Here, Right Now, and I mean, I still love those songs from that Carnal Knowledge record as well. So, oh wow.
Oh yeah.
John Biel is sending me pics.
Oh, cool. We got a ton of pics we're gonna go over tonight. We got time. Okay,
well, I'll wait for the pic department or the pic section. I just go show this one. I love this one.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Wow.
Yep. Bye. Hey, you. Bye. That's when he's at the end when Sammy's going around all the cameras.
Yeah.
Love
That's
it,
awesome.
Man. Love it. I watched it today, actually, with my little boy, Killian. He wasn't really interested in it, but I was. So.
Yeah, I've watched it three times this week, and then again this morning when I woke up with a coffee, I put it on just to get in the zone for today.
I'll tell you one thing. I looked it up on YouTube. There's not a lot of talk about the actual show outside of, like, displaying the concert. So we're like one of the only people who have done like a breakdown or a focus on this DVD, which is crazy. I figured there'd be all kinds of stuff out there. There's not.
Yeah. And then someone's put it up in, was it 60 frames per second or minute, or I don't know what it is. They put it up in a high quality now on YouTube. Has everyone seen that version of it?
It almost looks like a filter, but it's definitely clearer, but you can tell, like, I guess the far away distant shots, you can see there's some kind of John Biel explained what it is.
Pixeling.
Yeah, it's something weird, but it smooths everything out. It looks great,
Yeah.
Because a lot of the other versions are really, really choppy and crappy.
And grainy.
Yeah.
I watched that one this morning on YouTube, the cleaned up one. So I thought, that looks amazing, really. It does look funny from the distance shot, though. Mm-hmm. But up close, it looks great.
Yeah.
And Andrew, how about you? What's your first?
Well, I'm a little bit older than you guys, so I saw it in sequence. So getting the VHS, an opportunity to watch that was basically like a religious experience. I remember being at work and a good friend of mine, Craig Brown, ringing me saying, "I've got the VHS."
Let's get Craig Brown
on. No, we're not friends anymore. Anyway. Anyway, it must have been a Thursday when he rang me because he said, "Look, let's meet with a couple of other cats at his place on a Friday." Now, back in the olden days, Fridays were alternated between friends and girlfriends, and that situation that I had with the VHS. Was a huge event, going to a friend's place to watch it, because as Brad had said, we hadn't seen Sammy Hagar. we hadn't seen any videos with Sammy Hagar. We'd heard the 5150 album, of course, but actually going to watch this VHS with the band performing and doing these solos was a religious experience. And, I think we watched it 3 times and went back on the Saturday and watched it like all of us. We just gorged ourselves on this feast of music. It was fantastic. And just one other point too, guys, when this came out on VHS too, because I did get that out on VHS when it came out, we didn't know that this was what was it, re-recorded. We didn't know that. Again, it was the same experience, sitting down watching Eddie with this new guitar, this Music Man guitar, which kind of freaked a few people out because he'd been playing the striped guitar for so many years. And then, just been blown away by a lot of these songs on these great albums that they'd recorded with Sammy. Was just, again, like going to Mecca. It was just phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
8 years the band was out before they had a full live show. Because before that, it was the 3 songs in 81. That was it.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And one of you guys kind of mentioned it when, I think it might have been Brad. Like, I think you kind of were kind of pointing at the fact of like how good they were on that show. And, this isn't taking nothing away from the early Roth era, but I think when Sammy got in that band, and I think you said it, like they were rejuvenated, and they saw that Sammy, he was singing his ass off live, obviously playing the guitar as well live, obviously not on the album, but I think they brought their level of musicianship and maybe seriousness when they go on stage. Like, hey, we got to nail this stuff because Sammy's crushing it up there. We can't, because when you watch a lot of the earlier live footage with Roth, some of the songs, and I know some of the songs on Live at a Net are kind of fast and stuff, but they're locked in though. But I don't want to say they were, they weren't as tight, in my opinion.
Good point.
Dave, it was more of a party in a loose environment, and I get it, and it was but I really think they I hate using this word, but hunkered down and like woodshedded their instruments and
good point,
busted their butts to get as tight as possible on that, especially for that tour.
Yeah, Jay, I think you're right. Sammy had a decent solo career, plus he had a decent career with Montrose. He was a seasoned veteran. They looked up to Montrose when they recorded their first album. So I really think they played up to him. And I was just reading in this magazine today, Don Landy said in the studio when they recorded like the first 2 or 3 songs. There you go. And as you guys know, Don Landy engineered all of their albums up to that point. He said, quote, Don Landy, I have never heard you guys play this good before. And that's talking about, the 6-pack prior, which is a pretty bold statement.
I think what happens with musicians is, and I mean, when you play live with musicians that are of a higher caliber, you lift your ability naturally without even trying to get anywhere close to that. Now, I'm not saying that. I think they were all pretty equally on par musicianship wise, but they all excelled. They tried to outdo each other in a friendly, competitive way. They just lift the bar again.
Jay talked about that today on Johnny's show.
Did I?
Yeah, talking about your drummer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But I think what the other thing is too, like sometimes, what is annoying about Van Halen fans at times is they don't understand that musicians evolve and they outgrow certain things and become different type of musicians because of what is around them at the time and their influences, and they become better songwriters, they become whatever it may be. And I think that's what Van Halen did. They just kept evolving. You know, they had some up and downs and bumpy roads and stuff like that. But generally, I think their songs just got better and better and better through the years. Even with David Lee Roth, like the songs on 1984, in my opinion, are well-written songs as opposed to not knocking the early stuff because I love it. But it's just a natural progression. And you saw Eddie outgrow the striped guitars and he went to the Music Man with the flame look, maple cap top and all that sort. Like he just became a different type of musician. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really important to take into account when you watch these shows like Live Without a Net. They're not playing they're not playing that early era stuff anymore. They've evolved from that. They're happy to be part of that because that's where they came from, but they developed as musicians. And sometimes people don't let go of the fact that, you know, the first album, the first two albums, and that nothing else matters after that. I've never really understood that. I don't want to get too sort of political and argumentative about Van Halen and eras and stuff like that, but all I'm doing is, and trying to make a point of here is, Live Without a Net, they were on their game. That was probably the best they'd ever been up to that point.
I agree with that. Well,
yeah.
I think, and you're right, the whole, like, you know, people, the first two albums, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Van Halen, can you think of any other band that released 10 straight albums without a stinker? 10 albums in a row of just amazing music.
Beatles, maybe.
Whether you just like the Roth era, whether you like both eras, you know, if you're not a Sammy fan with Van Halen, you can't deny that it's still great music, even though you might not like it. It's still great music. Think of any other band that released 10 straight albums of just
Beatles is the only one I can think of, and they're at the top of the pinnacle. They're at the top of the mountain.
Yeah. Beatles and Led Zeppelin for me.
Okay. Never a stinker. That's borderline impossible to do, is come out with 10 albums like that.
And I think too, Brad, you're right. Eddie always talks about evolving. He doesn't necessarily want to wallow in the past. I mean, no offense, Jay, but think about the Chicago Bears. You know, their pinnacle was the 84 when they won the Super Bowl.
Well, 85 season, but yeah, I get
85, yeah. Thank you. But they probably couldn't do it with that team now. You have to evolve with time, right? That was like the greatest defense ever, but you have to evolve.
But at the same time, on the other side of the coin, Eddie was notorious for taking riffs that he wrote, you know, years prior. So, I mean, you know. But yeah, I get it. You don't want to write the same album every time and have the same sounding album, even though Van Halen, when you think of all the different guitar tones that Eddie had through his career, you still knew it was Eddie Van Halen, and that's the beauty of it. And Alex as well. Alex's snare drum sound is probably more noticeable, you know, more like no one's snare drum sounds like Alex's, man. It's crazy.
No. And in 95, Guitar World did an interview with Eddie, and he noted, and I'm not trying to upset anyone here, that he hated the first two record albums, the guitar sound on the first two records. He hated it. He didn't like it. And I know there's people that think it's the pinnacle of the Van Halen guitar tone. And his perfect tone for him at that time was the balanced record sound.
Good point. Good point, bro. And I think one of the reasons why he didn't like those two albums as far as the guitar tone goes is because he didn't have much control over it as well, you see. So I think he's kind of defending where he went with each guitar tone on each album after that, because clearly he was involved in that. So that makes sense. Makes sense to me.
Can I read a quote from the late, great Eddie Van Halen?
Please do.
The way we did 5150 is basically how I would have liked to have done all the previous albums. I think that another thing is that maybe that drove Dave away, because for 1984, I built a studio and I started wanting to do things a little bit more my way. And I guess it turned some people off. I created a little friction, not meaning to. I built the effing story for the benefit of all of us and for the family and for the band. Guitar World, September 1986.
Wow. Says it all.
Mm.
I mean, let him do what he wants to do, as long as the band wants to follow it. Like, I like the variety. Tell you the truth, that's why I don't get into the Dave and Sammy stuff. Is because I like it both. I like the variety. I think it's great to listen to both, and that they're different. I can't eat pizza
different, but it's still
day.
Van Halen. That's what makes them one of the greatest bands of all time. You know, they can have some other singer come in, especially after Roth. I mean, Roth, you know, some people were, you know, we've heard it all before, like, you know, and you know, was it Sammy mentions, is it going to work without Dave type of thing? And it still did, because they had Eddie Van Halen, and obviously Sammy is great, so it worked.
Yeah,
good point, Jay. Good point, because you know when I heard that the band, you know, David Lee Roth had left the band.
Oh yeah,
I
want to know what you thought, because you were obviously a fan before Sammy came in. So I want to hear your take on it.
Well, when we found that out, we thought Van Halen were over. That was it. You know, gone, because you know we'd been listening to '84, huge album, the singles clearly, obviously, even here in New Zealand, got huge radio play. We got to see those videos repeatedly, Panama and three actually, Panama, Jump, and Hot for Teacher. You know, we're on heavy rotation, and then all of a sudden David Lee Roth leaves, and then he comes out with California Girls, and you know, and we got Just a Gigolo, and it's like, oh, it's gone, it's over. You know, and then we hear the single off this album 5150, which is what was the single, guys? Come on, help me.
This is a great rendition. I love it.
And blew us all away. It was like, holy cow. And then we went and got the album, you know, the cassette. It was the cassette that I got, and was just like, oh my gosh, this is just fantastic. So yeah.
So
Jay,
you were.
my grandma got me a Walkman for my 9th birthday.
Was it the Sony Sports Walkman, the yellow one?
No, it was the silver one with the cheap headphones. No tapes. I didn't have a tape. She got me a Walkman. I didn't have any tapes. I mean, I was 9, you know. And I get home and I show my brother my Walkman, and he's like, "You got any tapes?" I'm like, "No." He gives me 5150. It was my first tape, and like it was over. Like I mean, over and over and over. Listen to that thing. That's how I got introduced to the band. I mean, I remember seeing them '84 on MTV, the Jump and Hot for Teacher and all that. But 5150 was my introduction. And then that Christmas, because my birthday's in November, so a month later, he gave me Van Halen 1 and Van Halen 2 on a Memorex 90-minute tape, one album on each side. And it took me like a couple months to realize that there was a totally different singer. Like at 9 years old, you're just a little bit ignorant.
Wow, that guy sounds different. Wow, what this is? Yeah, I
really young, or his pants are real tight, or something's different. But yeah.
Oh.
Well, and think of the transition when people first heard, you know, even if they didn't hear the single or whatever, but when that album kicks in and Sammy says "Hello, baby," like there's no better way to introduce a new member of the band than to do something like that. I don't know whose idea. Does anybody know whose idea that was to do that?
The Rev will know, but you've hit the nail on the head. What a great way to open up an album. Hello. Yeah, and it was bang in your face.
Big Papa, or whatever his name is.
Yeah, died with Buddy Holly, didn't he? The Big Papa.
Yeah, that was Sammy's, like, you know, tribute to him.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah. But I didn't even know how to play air guitar to that stuff. It was so intricate, you know, at age 9.
Yeah. Different time too. Like, because there wasn't a lot of visual around before Live Without a Net, I guess. of what he was actually doing, was there? There wasn't a ton of stuff floating around. We didn't have YouTube. You know, there was none of this stuff of checking out what other players are doing it and how they're playing it, and, you know, stalking all these Van Halen nuts that are amazing on guitar and finding out how to play those little leaks and those little intricacies that we couldn't work out. There was none of that.
And I don't think these young cats in the chat know that we used to do this. We used to get magazines and we used to look at them.
Stare at them for hours.
Yeah. Honestly, guys, we would just sit there and we would just. And how many times would you read that article? How many times?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would cut up the pictures and put them next to my bed.
And then Kurt would ask to borrow the magazine and you'd say, no, never.
Never a drip.
Never a drip in the sock.
Well, I mean, you think about, like, you know, Brad, when you mentioned, you know, nobody really knew a lot of the little things Eddie was doing on the guitar before Live at the Net. You know, I remember watching that too, and, you know, not knowing, you know, when you see him doing, like, the, you know,
here we go,
my friggin' amp's not on. You know, the little, you know, the, like, that stuff, and the, you know, like, I'm not even showing my guitar, but, you know, the harmonic stuff, like doing that stuff, and then the, you know, like little stuff like that. You're like, what the hell? That's how he's doing that? Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I had no idea. I'm like, that does not sound like a pinch harmonic. What is that?
Mm-hmm. And then also, like, you know, like the pull off on the G string, you know, like how he makes that sound. I was like, well, how does he get it to sound like it's, you know, that whine first, you know, that type of stuff. It was just like, whoa. That's
or when he's
cool.
doing the hammer-ons and sliding his finger down the string or up the string during his solo. That was cool. Never, you know, knowing how he did that. Ton of stuff.
I got to ask a pretty valid question here. How many times over your time, you know, sitting there and trying to work out guitar parts, did you actually use tablature? I need to, you know, it's something that I've always questioned, because for me, tablature is so difficult to follow. I just found it really difficult to actually, I'd sit there and for hours, I was actually closer by ear with stuff than I was with tablature. I'd use it as a guide, but I ended up putting it down and I'd be picking up and I'd be trying to work out, because I always found tablature too hard to put in context, if that makes sense.
The only thing I used tablature for was the power chords at the very top of the song.
This is rubbish.
The boxes.
Oh, yeah, this book is absolute garbage. It's so wrong.
Rubbish.
So wrong. Who transcribed this?
Wolf.
It says it's edited by Andy Aladort and introduction by Wolf Marshall. But what is it?
Yeah, it's like reading one of these Japanese magazines. Same
okay,
thing.
Andy Aldorf. Okay, Andy did it. Okay, yeah, it's junk.
But it was confusing to me. I mean, what I heard is they had to, like, come up with new tablature to transcribe Eddie's stuff. So there was a bunch of new stuff that people didn't know. But I only used tablature for the power chords. That was it.
Good point. That's it. That's about it. That's the only reason why that would be valid for the power chords. Yeah.
No, I remember I would use tablature for some stuff, you know, like, but it would always get frustrating because I'd be like, you know, some of the tablature on these things, like, what?
Yeah, that looks like
you can't go
like
from
islands
this
in the Bahamas
to this in one note. Like, what, you know, like, what are they? What is that?
I actually found it sometimes harder to try and work out from tablature than by ear. You know, because you could sit there and work out roughly, because if you start getting your head around what strings are being played and stuff, you start actually working it out. And when you're looking at tablature, it's like a scientific experiment on a piece of paper. It's too hard to, I'd be like, what the hell? I can't make ends to this. So I'm putting that down and I'll just try and work it out.
Yeah.
I think actually in a roundabout way, it probably makes you better for future things, learning songs by ear and things.
Oh God,
because your ear gets better trained. So, but in saying that, the guys that do tablature work and stuff, where if they do a good job of it, it's amazing. But I could sit there for hours trying to work out a song from tablature and still not get it right, as opposed to sitting there trying to work it out from a record, or even better, a visual like Live Without a Net.
Well, do any of you guys use Guitar Pro at all?
No, never used it.
It's pretty good because there's some, I'm a big proponent of the using a metronome.
I've heard that.
So basically, if somebody makes a guitar profile for a song or a solo, basically you import it into Guitar Pro and you can speed it up, slow it down, whatever, and you can highlight sections to repeat. In that sense, it's awesome. I mean, it's hard not to utilize, I don't have the time anymore to sit up here for 8 hours and try to work stuff out, if I want to learn somebody else's material, even my own material sometimes. But, so in that sense, it's great stuff to be able, because some of those solos, I don't care who you are, it's like, what the hell? What is that? Especially some Vi stuff. You're like, wait a minute. So if you can get somebody to actually have the real notation and to hear it played and then be able to slow it down and get the fingering right and all that stuff, you're like, okay, So, but doing that isn't going to really help develop your ear as much as actually figuring something out by ear,
Yeah.
So,
but I think getting back to the Live Without a Net, I think it made it a lot easier for us to actually see what was being played. That was for a lot of that stuff, to actually watch him, even his guitar solo in that, to watch the Eruption solo and the way he's playing it, even though it's different to what's on Van Halen 1. It's we get to see it. It's firsthand. We're actually getting to see where he's putting his hands, the positions, So, and what he's doing with his right hand and left hand together, sort of thing. Because that was a big part of Ed. Like you made a big point there, Jay, where didn't matter what guitar he's playing or whatever, or what gear or what sound he was going for at that particular time for our album, it still sounded like Ed. So it's all in the hands.
Yeah,
it's still him.
Remember when he played somewhat of the Mean Street intro on Live That? I think that was I was like, oh, whoa, what is he? That's how he's doing that. Because most people had no idea what he was doing on that intro, And I get it. Back, like you said before, no YouTube. There was no videos of him playing that when that album came out. And it was just like, is that even a guitar?
Right. People thought he was using a drumstick on the neck.
That's crazy.
So that might segue into getting you to do a little demo, Jay.
Oh, the meat. Okay. Well, crap. Awesome. Let's hope I don't botch this up.
Pressure on now.
It's my YouTube claim to fame. I think I'm known more for this than my own band.
You shouldn't be nervous. We're a minute 4 in now.
A minute 4?
Yep. My wife's home though.
Oh, now I'm really nervous. All right. Let's hope I don't botch this. All right.
Oh, you can have a few goes at it, man.
But I'm tuned down a half step.
That's all right.
So we're good. All right, you ready? Here we go. Can you hear it? Is it?
Yep.
Okay.
Bit louder.
You want a bit louder? Or you want powder?
Kids.
Just a little bit.
Crank it.
Yeah. All right.
Crank it.
A little bit of powder.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yep.
All right. I'm getting nervous. All right, here we go.
Woo!
Oops. Yeah, something like that.
Awesome.
Ah.
Well done, man.
don't know. I get nervous playing on these things. God,
dude, you kill me
Just
every
live,
time I
dude.
hear you do that. I want to lock myself in my wife's office and try to learn how to play that.
well, there's a few things that are extremely hard on that. I mean, I think I don't know if Eddie plays with the left hand exactly that, but I feel like just muting the like leaving the low E or the E string, like that, and then just using it like that. I feel like that gets the accurate. Hold on, can I give you a quick whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give us a tutorial.
Tutorial.
There's one thing that I noticed when I was learning this. I'm shaking like holy cow. One thing that when I was learning this, I noticed that on the album, he does this little hang up. I don't know if it's every time, but it's a lot of times when he does the, that. So it's like, hold on. That double, he's like holding the E and the B down as he's tapping this on the left hand. So it's like, and every time he does it, it's not exactly the same, Yep. But the hard part is getting that transition from this. Wait. That is like, whoa, getting the exact fret and making sure that all the strings aren't going nuts as you're doing it, and then and the harmonics sometimes can be a bitch when you go to the that one. That's like the hardest one to get right there. I try to use my middle finger to kind of bar across to make sure that nothing else is ringing, but I don't know how the hell, number one, he came up with that. Because there's no, if you try to play that to a click, good luck, because it doesn't, the rhythm is just, it's obviously the same, but you can't really practice it to a click. So it's like, it's hard. I think it's harder to play it slow. Getting it now. Okay, cool.
Amazing.
It's tough, man.
Can you just show your Frankie and just tell us while you've presented just a little bit about your Frankie, if that's okay? I know other people have seen you on the Johnny Bean show talking about it, but you're on our show. Tell us about your Frankie.
Yeah, Rob Johnson sent me a quarter to put on it that he obviously modified already with the screw and everything. I haven't put it in yet because I'm lazy.
You don't want to drill a hole.
Well, I was going to do what Caleb did. Caleb just put a little bit of glue on the back of the quarter and put it on. I was like, that's a great idea. I have this.
The dog clasp strap, eye hook, clip, set deal.
Yeah, whatever the hell that long name is. They almost didn't have enough room for it. I just found these. I lost them. They were underneath some Van Halen books when I was cleaning out my room. I found them. So I'm going to put these on. But obviously this is just I think this is the second what would it be? Not the second pressing or the
run.
Yeah, the second run of these, because the first ones had the super dark sprayed fretboard and neck.
Yeah.
But it's just the typical EVH, But they're awesome, man. They're real for the price of these guitars. I can't believe they play and sound as good as they do and feel like the neck. I like the neck on the, because obviously I play 7-string most of the time, so I prefer a little bit of a wider neck,
R3.
So kind of like that. The only thing, and this is a personal preference of mine, and I'm sure if anybody's heard me talk about frets, I'm not one of those guys that likes going between super jumbos and regular jumbos and medium and vintage. I kind of have a, I'm not big on tall frets, and this guitar has they're pretty damn tall, more than I kind of prefer.
Yeah, they're vintage jumbo, I think.
I'm
They're stainless frets?
Huh?
They stainless frets?
No, they're the regular nickel frets. But because I'm kind of heavy-handed with my left hand, and it kind of like more of speed bump as opposed to, you know.
You wired that neck pickup at all?
Not yet. I haven't done anything to this guitar yet. The only thing I did was kind of adjust the neck a little bit because the action was violin action when I got it. You know, I might as well have just been, you know, doing this type of shit with it. But you know, that's the only thing I would literally change is to have the frets a little flatter. You know, I don't mind the wide frets, but just a little bit flatter. You know, I feel like I can't go as fast. Not that I can play that fast, but
you could probably get them taken down a little bit. You could probably get them. Yeah.
I think those are vintage jumbos on that.
What's vintage jumbo?
Just a
big
size.
Ones.
Yeah, there's like 4 sizes. I put stainless on my Bumblebee. Holy smokes, are those nice? Oh.
Which size of stainless?
I don't even know.
Yeah, it's like playing on glass, dude. It feels great.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that guitar is awesome. I've heard amazing things about the neck. I mean, it's on my list of ones to buy.
It's beautiful.
Just because of the neck. I've heard everyone talk about the neck, and I know you got it, and just playing Mean Streets almost out of the box is possible.
Well, it's kind of easier to play Mean Street with the action kind of high, you know, because they don't get as much, you know, you get sometimes whatever. But I'll tell you this. Our buddy Cameron Brown, great guitar player out of Scotland, he got one of these, and you know he's endorsed with Sir. He has, I think, 5 or 6 handmade Sir guitars. When he got this thing, he said he couldn't put it down for literally 2 weeks straight. He was like this. He's like, I can't believe, and he just talked about the neck again. He's like, dude, the neck on that thing. He's like, it's amazing. So you're talking about somebody that plays handmade Sir guitars who thinks that this thing is a gem, you know, not a gem, but you know what I mean.
Baked maple neck. He's playing on like, I think the last 2 that he got, which feel great.
Yeah. So I still can't believe that these guitars, you know, what they've done to them. And you know, I'm not one of those guys who's like, you know, Caleb, we always bust his balls or he busts our balls. He's always like, oh, that top horn's not painted properly or whatever. And I'm like, I'm not one of those guys that's like, wait a minute, is that stripe exactly where it should be, you know? So
is that a 3/4 inch stripe or a 1/2 inch?
Yeah, you know, but the detail on this thing, I can't, you know, it looks legit. It looks like it was actually, you know, damaged, you know, like it's not like a, I don't know. You get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's played. Well, it looks played.
Yes.
Caleb says that was Eddie's last gift to us, was that Frankie.
It could be, man, you know, because they could have easily charged over $2,000 for this thing, and nobody probably would have batted an eye. So
awesome. I'm glad you're happy with it. I'm jealous.
I'm gonna send you a message right now. You have your phone on you?
Yep.
Okay. You guys can talk amongst you.
All right.
We'll talk amongst us.
Yeah.
So you guys know what live without a net means?
It's like walking a tightrope, coming off, no net.
Yeah, it's actually like a life quote I found out doing a little research. So live without a net is adrenaline of nothing to fall back on. Living without a net is not easy. Living fearless, without regret, living with risk. So Van Halen being who they are in Corky, live without a net, live without a net, you know, play on words. I think that's where the name of this live DVD probably came from. What do you think?
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
There you go.
We've got some pictures and stuff there, have we, guys? I think you mentioned.
Yeah, you want me to go through some pictures? Or you want me to go through a little bit of background on this thing?
Maybe do both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I figured we'd talk a little timeline. I won't go crazy, but I already said it was 8 years since the band had even done a live show. So this is the first time anyone had seen a full the release of a full concert on DVD or VHS. 1985 in August, Sammy jammed with Van Halen for the first time. So we'll talk a little bit about 5150 and then the recording of this live show. But 1985, September 22nd, Sam and Dave play together at the Live Aid show, and they announced that Sammy's going to be the new singer of Van Halen.
Sam and Dave, huh?
Sam and Ed, sorry. That's why I got Jay on here.
Sammy Hagar's the new singer of Van Halen, baby. Yeah, that would have been
He's
awesome.
the only one that puts iced tea in his Jack Daniels. All right. So Sam and Ed played together at the Live Aid. They announced Sam's the new singer of Van Halen. November 85, they go in the studio and record the 5150 album. They finish it in February. So really, this was one of the longest recordings for an album, pretty close to 84 as well. March 86, the 24th, 5150 is released. So the band went on tour on the 27th. So just
Jesus.
3 days after the album was released. And that's one of the reasons why they didn't do a bunch of videos, is because they had a 7-month tour ahead of them. One, they wanted the public to see, Sammy Hagar live. They wanted to see the full-fledged band together versus seeing them on MTV. But the other reason was they already had this tour scheduled. In fact, they had to cancel 2 shows, one in Anchorage, Alaska, and one in Maui, or the Honolulu, excuse me, because they weren't ready to go on tour yet. So
Wow.
they actually had 2 shows scheduled before they hit the States, but those got canceled. They postponed them, and then the postponed shows got canceled.
Wow.
So
They never
March
made them up,
27th,
huh?
What's that?
They never made those shows up, huh?
They never made those shows up.
Oh, man,
So they
imagine.
embarked on a 7-month tour. BTO was the opening act, and originally Warner Brothers had James Brown as the opening act, and Ed Loeffler kiboshed it and didn't think he was be a good opening act for Van Halen.
Wow.
Get up.
It was
Man.
right when he had the Coming to America. He was fresh out of prison.
He was fresh out of Rocky 4, right?
Fresh out of prison,
Fresh
fresh
out of
out of
Rocky.
2 years, I guess. 2 years earlier with Rocky 4.
Apollo Creed was no longer with us. So yeah, James Brown was going to be the opening act, and they moved it to BTO. One of the cool things about this concert was they had a tri-level stage, which will show some pictures. But they had a platform above Alex, and then they had the drum platform. Then they had a big drop, and then they had the main stage. John Biel's working on a small 21-to-1 figurine replica of it. Is that it right there?
Oh,
Wow,
come on, focus, you son of a.
He really is working on it.
I told you I wasn't
Josh and me.
Come on. There we go.
Yeah. That's it.
So where did Sammy go backstage?
He sent one. Yeah, where's underneath the stage where they're getting all the action?
Yeah. Action.
He is making one.
Come on.
Yeah.
You better do better with that drum set, though.
Yeah, I know. That's pretty
There you
cool.
go.
Oh, he's got the keyboards up there too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nobody
Awesome.
wants to see you play keyboards, man.
Guitar
Not
Hero.
bad, John Biel.
Yeah, tri-level stage, and it was like made out of like crusher screen metal, and it looked like it would just like tear your shoes up if you ran up and down it.
Yep.
But it was like a huge monstrosity of a stage, and it just made the whole band. It would almost look like a pyramid, kind of, right? If you see the pictures Jay just showed. Let's see, 1,000 lights on stage. 20,000 watts of speakers, which is pretty cool. 55 audio cabinets for a PA system, which is ridiculous. And then a 50-man road crew just to get them from city to city.
Wow.
Yeah. We'll run through the set list real quick. You Really Got Me was the opening song, which wasn't on the DVD.
The DVD.
There's Only One Way to Rock, which of course we all know is the Sammy song. Followed up with Summer Nights, Get Up, and the drum solo. And then Why Can't This Be Love, which wasn't on the DVD. Followed up with 5150, the bass solo, Panama, Best of Both Worlds, Love Walks In, Good Enough, wasn't on the DVD.
Wait a second.
Why Can't This Be Love is on it?
Drum solo goes to 5150. It is now officially.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Me and Brad got it, man. Don't worry, we got you.
Then at 55, actually, I'm just reading the set list, the typical set list for the tour, not the
not the exact one.
Not the DVD. Yeah.
The David. Oh, I'm sorry.
Ain't Talking About Love, Jump, which wasn't on the DVD, Wild Thing, Rock and Roll from Led Zeppelin, and they also did Make It Last, Foxy Lady, Summertime Blues, and Sunshine of Your Love was all songs that they did later on in the set, which were all, of course, covers. Oh.
Imagine if we could see a re-release of Live Without a Net with all that on it.
Yeah.
I want
on Tony's show. I don't know if Tony's still in the chat. Neil, his buddy, he saw him in Chicago, I think, and he was talking about how he remembered them coming out with "We Really Got Me," and then when he watched the DVD later or the VHS, it wasn't on there, and he really thought it was cool seeing Van Halen come out with that song. First song on the tour when Sammy's the new singer. So that's kind of cool.
I don't know, man. I think One Way to Rock is the perfect opening track for Van Halen live. It's like it doesn't get any better than that. That's probably my favorite live song ever from Van Halen is that version of One Way to Rock. It's magic, man. It's
pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember getting Sammy's CD because One Way to Rock was on there. And then it was also on the Live Right Here, Right Now CD as well. They did it on there too. So, and of course, on August 26th, they did their first show at the Veterans Memorial Coliseum in New Haven, Connecticut. Supposedly, they say there was an equipment malfunction. We don't know if really there was or there wasn't. I think they probably recorded both shows and picked the best out of the two and said this is one we're going to use, because as we know, Van Halen just doesn't release stuff to release it. In my opinion, they just don't do that kind of stuff. So either they trashed it or that first show's somewhere out there. Who knows?
Oh, wouldn't that be great?
What do you guys think?
Well, didn't they use footage from night one for a music video for
MTV? Yeah, they did a special. Which I'll get to, where they did after Best of Both Worlds, they did Robert Palmer's Addicted to Love.
No, I'm saying I thought didn't they do a music video or something for Good Enough?
Oh, okay.
But they used the actual concert footage from night one of Good Enough.
Yeah, it's on YouTube, so it came from somewhere.
So that supposedly the footage of that from that music video is night one of that show or that whatever.
I'm gonna go back and check that now.
Yeah, Andrew, maybe you can help us out because you're a little bit older than us. How much time can you get on like a VHS back in '86?
Well, it depends. You got SP, LP, and EP, right?
Yeah, I know. For quality, right?
2, 4, and 8 was it, or 2, 6, and 8? What is it? 4, 6. I
thought it was about 120 minutes.
Well, this is 92. the DVD is 92 minutes. So, and that's pretty much what was on the VHS.
I'm just wondering, did they cut out these 4 or 5 songs because they wanted better quality, or were the songs not good to where they didn't think they were good enough to be on the live video, or did they just like, what was the reason behind not having those songs on there? That's the like golden question that I think we
Probably
need to talk about.
continuity and flow for the DVD, probably, of the VHS. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say.
What do you think, Jay?
You know, part of me thought it was maybe a copyright thing, like with, you know, a cover of You Really Got Me. But then again, they play rock and roll, so maybe that's not. Dreams, I can understand, because Sammy has said that when he was recording that in the studio, he was like, it was like, no, there's no way I'm gonna be able to sing this song live. So I'm thinking that they cut Dreams because Sammy, you know, that's a borderline impossible song to sing, you know. So maybe when they watched it back, he's like, guys, I don't want to, you know, I didn't hit that one. Let's nip that one in the bud. But I don't know. That's the thing. These are all questions that I'd be asking those guys if I met them. Hey, why'd you cut him? Dude, what? I don't know. You know, like Michael Anthony didn't even remember that he had a Poof shirt. When Caleb met him and had him sign his Poof shirt, you know, he told him, like, you used to have a shirt like this. You wore it on Live on the Net, and he held it up to his tech. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm forgetting his name now. Dugan, yeah. He's like, yeah, you had one of those, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, those guys probably, they don't know why. Who knows?
Right. Well, have you heard the Dreams version from that tour? Like live?
No.
There is a couple bootleg shows out there.
Yeah. And I would say they're not like groundbreaking. I mean, that's a hard song to do live.
It was a hard song for him to do in the studio.
Yeah.
This is before Pro Tools, when you could literally fix everything and just punch in certain syllables. You know, this is back when you had to nail that stuff, man.
Right. But out of all those, I would probably say Dreams and Good Enough would be the ones I would at least think should be on there. But I don't know. What do you think, Andrew? Which ones would you want on this thing if they could add them in?
Good
or
enough,
bring them
certainly.
back?
Good enough,
Yeah.
good enough. You know, if I had to pick one, it would be, you know, definitely Good Enough. But those covers, you know, I'd love to hear them. Love to hear Sunshine. I'd love to hear the
Is it the Who, right? Summertime Blues?
no, Summertime's Blues is Eddie Cochran. You know,
Eddie
love to hear that. Would love to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have
What
loved
about
to
you,
have heard.
Or Brad, go ahead.
I would love to hear Good Enough and Dreams for sure. Even if he's not quite hitting those notes. I mean, we're all forgiving sort of Van Halen fans here. So I'd be happy with the odd flat note here and there. It wouldn't bother me at all.
Yep. You know, I'm going to speculate on why maybe Good Enough wasn't on there.
Okay.
Who knows what Sammy said during the break? Maybe, or during the bridge. Maybe there was some hot chick in the front row, like, look at the set of blah, blah, blah. And like, guys, we can't put that on the VHS. You know, we can't release it like that. Or we're going to have to put, you know, PG. We're going to have to rate it. Who knows if maybe that's the case. But
Sure.
That's a valid point.
Johnny's saying Dreams has a longer synth intro live, and Edward played the keys and the guitar solo live. Yeah. I always thought that when Eddie stopped playing keyboards live, and Sammy obviously didn't play guitar anymore except for like One Way to Rock or whatever, it kind of took away, you know, because I think I can speak for all of us. I enjoyed watching Eddie play keyboards live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Sammy did okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool seeing him play.
Yeah, because then you instantly knew, oh, now they're playing to tape.
Right. One thing's cool is the way they have all these songs sequenced. Eddie changes guitars on tuning, and it's like seamless. Any kind of alternate tuning or alternate guitars in between either a solo or a keyboard song. So they really did think out the sequence of the set list. And of course, the video doesn't follow the exact live set list to a T. It bounces around a little bit. Did you guys know that?
No.
Yeah, it's not first song to last song. It bounces around a little bit.
So when you read the set list before, when you said after the drum solo, it's not 5150?
So the typical set list off of the Van Halen Encyclopedia was Why Can't This Be Love, 5150, and then the bass solo. But while he was doing Why Can't This Be Love, Zeke was probably tuning his guitar for 5150. And then during the bass solo, he was tuning it down for Panama or standard, not sure
back up,
exactly.
I guess.
Yeah. And then Best of Both Worlds. And then Love Walks In, he switches to the Steinberger for Good Enough. Then there's the guitar solo. Can't Drive 55. Ain't talking
Steinberger,
about
you mean the 84, right?
What's that?
The 84 for Good Enough?
Oh, yeah, the 84 guitar, excuse me, with the low A bass string. You're right.
Man. So why it's crazy how we actually care about this.
I know it's
really, and it's
nerdy.
so interesting, but when you think about, I'm sure if my wife is still watching this, she's probably like, "What the hell, man?"
I put some pictures on Instagram last week and this week, and there was 5 or 6 different questions about what guitars he played during this song. Why did he switch to this one? People don't realize that the true sequence of this was actually pre-planned. So he could switch from one guitar to the next, or because Eddie didn't like bouncing around from 3-4 different guitars. He really, if he was up to him, he would probably use one the whole night if he didn't have to do alternate tunings or things like that. But in this case, truly, he had 3 guitars to play, and one guitar was for one song, and the other guitar was for 2. So really, he used
Rock Candy. Rock Candy was played too.
What's that?
Rock Candy was played too. Is that in the encyclopedia?
Wow.
Another Sammy song was done once. Was it Rock Candy?
Sorry for interrupting, Reeve. I know you were
Make
on
It Last. Isn't that a Montrose song?
Come on, you cats in the chat.
John Biel.
John Bull.
Real quick. I got it right here. Make It Last, Keith Sweat. That's not right.
Keith Sweat. Oh, man.
Montrose. Yep. Okay.
Montrose,
Grant's saying yep.
So anyway, that could be a show in its own right there. So August 27th, they filmed this in one night. Like I said earlier, the band wanted the fans' first visual of the new Van Halen to be live. They didn't want them to experience MTV videos. For some reason, I think Eddie and Alex probably didn't, and I'm speculating here, but they probably didn't like all the stuff they had to do for some of the videos the last 2 years. They were all about answering people with the music. They weren't about the flashy music videos. I just don't think that was their mantra. They wanted to back everything up with the album and touring. So
and on that Van Halen Unleashed MTV special, Eddie kind of talks about that, like, mentions, almost rips on Dave saying, calling it a clown show.
Yeah.
And it's like, Jesus, like, wow. Like it was more, it's like more honest with Sammy up there and all this stuff. And it was just, I get it. You want to pump up what you're doing now, but it was kind of weird when you're talking about, Dave was up there, it was a clown show.
Well, if you think big picture and you're the guitarist that Eddie was, would you want to be remembered by Hot for Teacher and Pretty Woman video?
I
Or do you
totally understand what you're saying, but on the flip side of that is, that era of MTV made Van Halen bigger than life with David Lee Roth. So,
It was huge.
the image thing, like we talked about it on Johnny's show tonight, was a big part was the image, and MTV helped with that. So,
Right. No, I agree. It was everything. I mean, it was the radio and MTV, and then it was almost people's personal albums or tapes or records were secondary. I mean, I was glued to MTV for a good 10 years probably in my life. So they recorded the Live Without a Net on August 27th, and it was released on November 24th. So a couple months later, they released it on VHS and Laserdisc. It was certified gold on December 22nd, 1986. And then February 25th, 87, it was certified platinum. And then double platinum January 23rd, 1990.
wow.
In 1986, MTV Music Awards, they aired The Best of Both Worlds and the Robert Palmer Addicted to Love live performance. And then they did the MTV Unleashed. So the band was trying to promote themselves. It was just, I think, in a different, unorthodox way. So that's the kind of facts I have on that era, I guess. I do have some pictures we can show, but Andrew, was there one more thing we were going to do?
Well, can I quickly ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
Yep.
And I've mentioned this before, and some people agree with me, and a lot of the Dave only era fans think I'm an idiot, and that might be true. My wife certainly thinks I am sometimes. But I think Johnny agrees with me on this as well, is Sammy came into that band at the perfect time. When it got to the late 80s, I think that if Dave stayed in Van Halen, I think by 1990, even maybe 91, especially when grunge came in, that band would have been, I don't want to say over, but I think they would have been, definitely would have been affected in a very serious way with Roth as their singer, because, Eat 'Em and Smile came out and Roth was on top of the world. He was obviously not as big as Van Halen, but he was close. He was still Diamond Dave, selling out arenas. And even in 88, when Skyscraper came out, it wasn't the same. It was, seeing him on MTV and stuff, it was his shtick kind of got old very fast.
Right.
And I think, man, once grunge came in, it would have been over.
You don't think the arseless chaps would have got through the 90s?
Oh man, maybe Kurt Cobain would have been wearing assless chaps. Who knows? But
yeah,
I just don't know. I think that Sammy came in at the perfect time for that band, and they had 2 #1 selling albums, 91, 95. I mean, grunge, all that stuff was kicking it.
Yeah.
So,
good point.
Yeah, I
Good
agree.
point.
Marilyn Manson was the next guy to do the assless chaps stick.
Yeah, I think that's a good question, Jay. And, I've got an opinion, like everybody else, on this too. I'm going to agree with you. I think Van Halen with David Lee Roth ended at the time that it had to end. And one of the reasons why a band can be successful and be unique because it's a different sound. There's some virtuosity going on. There's something that's going on that's going to make that band reach these great, great limits. But what we have to also remember too is that a band's about a collaborative effort. U2, for example, U2 talk about the fact that these 4 guys are tight. And one of the reasons why the band is so successful is that these guys are like a gang. They go everywhere. It's tight. It's a corporate kind of thing. And I mean that cohesive. And it wasn't going to be like that with David Lee Roth, because Dave's about David, and that's fine, that's okay. But for Van Halen to go to the next level, you needed someone like Sammy to come in, who was part of bands in the past and understood what it was like to give that give and take, and to sort of see if there's a democracy going on here and how things work, and that was what I think propelled the Van Halen version with Sammy to obviously Alpine levels, because they were a cohesive unit.
Yeah, good point.
They probably would have put out one more kick-ass record with Roth. 86 would have been, perfect time for that. But
yeah,
like I said, I think it was still a great time to do it.
Yeah, and Caleb's got a good theory. Caleb goes, 84. What could have happened? What could have happened with David Lee Roth if he'd stayed with Van? And that's a good point. One album. They could have done one album, but they wouldn't have gone on to do 5 more albums.
Yeah.
Brad and Kurt, what's your guys' opinions?
I'm with you guys. I think that they weren't going to get much further with Dave. Just from my understanding of where they were getting along, they weren't getting along. There was a lot of division, and I think it's funny how things work out. The universe makes things happen. Dave wanted to go solo. It was pretty clear. He went solo, and for me, 5150, we wouldn't have got that magical album if they continued with Roth. You know what I mean? So it worked out really well, because Dave's early. Like Eat 'em and Smile is a great record, so we got that as well. But in my opinion, they just went next level with Sammy on that record. That's my opinion. From 84 was a great record, and that's probably one of my favorite. That and Fair Warning are my favorite 2 Roth era records. But then when Sammy came in, they obviously did 5150, and then Carnal Knowledge to me is like the pinnacle for me of Van Halen. That's my Van Halen. That's the era I love, and it's like the Sammy version of Fair Warning for me. That record, it's heavy, it's got a lot to it, it's got meat in it, it's got depth to it. The songwriting is amazing. It's they just needed to evolve. I think, especially with Ed writing majority of the music, his songwriting was evolving too, and I don't think he would have. I think he would have been suppressed a bit with David Lee Roth. He would have been held back in the sense where David Lee Roth didn't want him to do keyboard stuff, didn't want him to, there was a lot of stuff that he wanted him to do to try and keep it like Van Halen 1, 2, 3. That sort of that 1, 2 and Women and Children First, and those records. I wanted to keep it there, and didn't really want to go. And it's clearly evident when 5150 came out, they got to actually experiment and do what they were probably not able to do. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and Eddie mentions that as well. He's like, there was there's no governor anymore. About like his songwriting, he can literally write any kind of piece of music, and Sammy is able to sing it. Where, and this isn't a knock at Dave, because in my opinion, David Lee Roth in his prime is in my opinion the best frontman ever. Like, the band didn't have to be amazing on stage. He didn't have to be the best vocalist on stage. It was just his charisma, his presence. Just he was larger than life, So it's not like I'm knocking Dave for anything, but we've all been in bands before where maybe you write some cool piece of music and your singer can't do it. It's just, that's how it is. But with Sammy, he didn't have that restriction. He was literally able to write anything, and Sammy could sing to it. It's a song like Dreams. I try to picture songs from the Hagar era and imagine Roth, obviously not singing the exact same thing, but just with his vocals on it. Dreams is one of those songs where like there's no way that is a Van Halen song if David Lee Roth is in that band.
True. 100%.
Yeah, and Eddie said he had Dreams packed away and was waiting for the right time to present it. And he flat out said there's no way Dave could have performed on this song. And when he heard Sammy in the studio, he brought it out. And it was one of the last songs they worked on. And Sammy killed it.
Oh, killed it.
Yeah.
So
100%.
I mean, I don't want to piss anyone off, but I will. I think, I mean, Eddie's flat out said he was going to quit the band during the Fair Warning tour. I think he was done with some of this stuff and he was ready to move on to, I don't want to call it more mature, but he was evolving as a guitarist and he was evolving as a musician. I mean, obviously, you just look at the clothes he was wearing from 86 on. He was maturing. And I think Sammy coming in was perfect for him to take his songwriting to the next level. Alex, became sober in 88 when they were doing OU812. I think the band was maturing and it was perfect time for Dave to do his thing and for Sammy to come in and take Van Halen to the next level or to the next stage in their career, if you want to be politically correct. But I think it was perfect recipe for where the band needed to go at the time.
Awesome.
I agree. And I also will say this, just like with Live Without a Net, you can clearly see that everything you just said there, Kurt, you can clearly see them. They're matured. They're at that sort of point in their lives where they've become better musicians, all of them in their own way. Their songwriting was evolving. They weren't writing cheesy songs anymore. They were writing stuff a little bit more mature.
Well, some people would consider, some of the Sammy era songs cheesy. I mean, yeah. I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
Roth had the ability to do something cheesy, but still it was cool because Roth had, his thing going. But yeah,
right.
I think they were trying to get away a little bit from that, though. Which is what I'm getting at, I guess. And they still touched on it because they were still obviously Van Halen. They were gonna touch on that eventually here and there. They can't get away from that. But the big point. I mean, recently when Andrew and I did the Lithium episode without Kurt, I highlighted like a Guitar World magazine and reading Ed's words in '95 makes you realize he needed to have that lineup of Van Halen. He was evolving, and he made a big point of it. That the guy interviewing him, I've forgotten who it was now, mentioned something about the songwriting. Goes, yeah, we write songs with key changes now. Like, in other words, they were just getting better songwriters, and I think that's just where it came down to. Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Andrew, you want to let me share a couple videos while we're talking, or a couple pictures?
Yeah. And when you've done that, I just want to show a couple of things. If you already don't have them, that Pete's flicked on to me about the banner that they had on the DVD as well. So
the DVD.
Yeah. Once I'm done showing my pictures, we'll do the banner.
Okay. Cheers, bro. Okay, I'm going to throw you in now. You ready?
Flip it over.
At the screen. There you are.
Let me know when you see the photo.
I see it.
Okay. There's Eddie and Michael. I don't know if they're walking to a show, but Eddie looks like he's wearing a karate gi, but I think it's just white poofy pants and a button-up shirt. But this is one from PJT 5150 he sent me tonight. I had never seen this picture before. I'm assuming this is late in the tour because it looks like this is when Eddie had the short haircut, maybe the rat tail. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Can you magnify that just a little bit, bro?
He's got the Jets baggy, so that was either they played the Meadowlands in New Jersey. A couple nights before the New Halen show, I think. And
There's the Converse
brother is-
non-striped.
My brother is still pissed to this day because my parents wouldn't let him go to the Meadowlands show on the 5150 tour.
Oh man.
Yep.
Have you seen that picture before, Jay?
I have not, no.
Yeah, I hadn't either. That's a cool one. Let's see here.
Brian Spalding says he had that Mickey Mouse shirt.
Who didn't?
Whoa, the unface plate Steinberger.
Yep. So as you guys know, he had two of these. He had one striped 5150, and then he had the black one. He also had two different striped faceplates. One said OU812, and then after Eddie passed away, he had one hanging in the studio hallway that said 1984 on it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a good picture of the stage with the crusher screen grate, which we'll get into a little bit later, where you can see his amps were down below stage.
Do you know which? There it is. I love that one.
Yeah. There's them being Van Halen, just a bunch of goofballs. That's the one thing that was cool, is just because Sammy was in the band, they didn't kind of go away from their, crazy antics and goofball screwing around. They were still kids at heart.
Look at that guitar, man. God.
I know. It actually looks in pretty good shape there.
That's definitely early on in the
right. For some reason, I could see Jay Hannon wearing that green jacket that Alex is wearing.
How about those shoes Alex is wearing? Looks like he just literally dipped his foot in red paint, like a bucket of paint.
Looks like something Terrell Owens would wear when he played for the 49ers.
Oh, God.
Here's another photo from PJT 5150. Great photo of the stage. Sammy's playing his red Beretta. That's pretty cool. And look at those baggy pants. I couldn't even get pants that baggy.
No. Did anybody ever figure out like what brand and who made those and where to get them at that time?
Yeah, it's a brand that starts with a Z. Let me
get back to you on it. Cavaricci's?
I think those are it. Yeah.
Oh my God. Those, dude, man, those were like $100 a pair back then.
Of course. Of course.
Oh my God.
Check out this photo. I love this one. Look at this. Watch your step. Is that what that says on there?
Something like
pretty
that,
cool.
Right? Yeah.
So this is the ramp that comes from down below where Zeke Clark was. So when Eddie would switch guitars, Zeke would come out from down there because he was down there helping with some of his effects. He would run down below the stage versus Eddie running them on his foot pedal.
Does anybody have a picture of Eddie's little bench that he had on the side of the stage?
There's one in here.
Oh,
with the drinks on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
How many packs of smokes would have been on there too?
Cartons. There's another cool one. This is part of the 1,000-piece lights, but Getty Images, get out of here.
Oh, they're playing good enough right there.
Yep, that's 84. Good call, Jay. He says he doesn't know anything.
Well, that's just because of Johnny that I know some of this stuff.
It's another great shot. The 5150. Eddie's sitting on the side of the stage. The shoes.
Wearing the live out of net get up plus the bandana. I like the bandana look.
I do too. I almost thought about wearing that tonight, but I'm not that cool. All right, here's his gear, which of course we could talk about this for hours.
Oh my God.
But I'm thinking, guys, that his main amp is the one with the brown, like it almost looks like wood. I think that's a plexi. Because he used to take the Marshall logos off the grill of his amp. And he used to have Zeke Clark go out and buy a bunch of what other JCM 800s as backups, but he didn't think they had the bite like the plexi did. But if you look at the whole left side, I think the top three are plexis, and then the one with the trim on the middle. Brad, you would know.
I think they're I don't think they're 800s. It's hard to tell. I think they're still JMPs, but the small logo ones are, from my understanding, the old school ones, and then they reissues with the larger logo. That's my understanding of it, because the JCMs were that gold panel on the JCM 800s all the way across. I may be wrong, but that was my understanding.
So one thing I see here for efficiency is you see the bottom 3 rows have casters on them, and then the top 3 rows have casters on upside down. So all they have to do is pick them up and set them on top of the other heads.
Oh yeah, good.
Yep.
I see.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Just
So which where's Sammy's amps or heads?
Didn't play a I have it somewhere. I wrote it down. I didn't put it in my notes.
So those are all Eddies right there.
Yeah, he played a different amp.
Damn.
He didn't play a Marshall.
Wow.
Look at all, man. Could you imagine bringing all those amps to? Jesus.
Makes me wonder what actually amps are actually running live there.
Yeah.
So here's a cool photo of 4 Variacs hooked up to that left side. You see those?
Wow.
Yeah.
Man.
Hey, Kurt, can I ask you to go back to the previous picture for a second, please?
Watch the replay, Brad.
Just come in closer for us.
Okay, give me a second. Here.
If you
What do you want to see?
I can't see any of them actually plugged in.
One's on the top's plugged in. You see that cable?
Oh yeah.
Is it the third one down as well? Is that plugged in as well?
It could be. There's a cord coming down from the deal with red letters on it that goes down next to the. It might be. Maybe it's not plugged in.
So there's the top one and maybe the third one down from the top. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe those two. Oh, it's hard to tell. But
I got a couple more pictures.
They're all on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know.
Cool.
Here's Alex's drum kit. I thought it was cool that he had the electronic horns inside his bass drums, along with those air tubes to let sound travel. Of course, he had the clear. Are those toms?
It's the Captain, the roto, the Octobons, whatever the hell they call them.
Octobons, and then the Simmons toms behind it.
Yep.
The Captain's in here.
The Captain.
Ship has landed. Here's a better, clearer picture of his drums. Look at the mics. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. I see 10 mics just on the front.
Wow.
Why are the Octobons mic'd? I've never seen him hit those things. Have you?
Yeah.
It's funny because I always thought that his kick drums were deeper than that too, like in depth, but they're not as deep as I thought they were.
Check out the 2 lighting guys back here.
When he's playing,
one there, another one there in harnesses with lights.
Wow.
You guys see those guys? They look like Oompa Loompas. They're all like dressed in white. What was that, Andrew?
the Octobongs 5150. Is that when he would play them? I'm just playing.
I don't know. It looks. I don't know.
There's a better shot of his bass drums.
That's a cool picture.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen any of these pictures.
Check this one out. This is a good picture of the 5150.
Wow.
There's the stage back there. Let's see what kind of shoes he's wearing.
The Reeboks. My dad had a pair of them shits back then. Except they were they had like the light green I guess,
Stripe on.
logo instead of the basic Reebok logo.
Yeah, iconic guitar. I mean, that thing's pinnacle.
Yep.
All right, moving on. Don't really have a ton of time here, but there's another cool picture. 5150 and Sammy probably throwing something out in the crowd, or who knows what he's doing.
Oh, that's is that good enough again?
It looks like the black nut on that guitar, so yeah.
Yep.
Bug flying around in here. What the hell's going on?
You're bugging me. There's his bench.
Yeah.
Yep. Got the beers on there.
Got the road cokes. Look at Michael Anthony's jacket with the puffy shoulders.
The shoulder pads, yeah.
Yeah, he's wearing like a full-on yellow like zoot suit.
Don Johnson.
Yeah, no socks.
Dong Johnson.
Rob Johnson.
Yeah.
This one's hard to see. It's small. Let me see if I can blow it up here. This is Backstage. Eddie, Sammy, Michael. Who knows what they're talking to? That's a hard one to look at. Check this one out. It's pretty cool.
What the hell kind of shoe? What? Like bowling shoes almost.
Fila socks.
Wow. You notice
Fine
that the
bean.
Jackson is covered up on that headstock?
Oh, yeah.
I know this just because of John Mancuda. When he was on, they made Sammy Hagar 2 of those guitars. John Mancuda has the other one.
He does?
Yeah. Sammy never got the second one. If I'm trying to remember this correctly, this was might have been 2 years ago, year and a half ago that he was on talking about it. But I guess Sammy had a issue or a falling out with Grover Jackson at the time or something, and that's why when he was playing this guitar, he would cover the Jackson logo up.
Wow. That's
Yep.
cool. I'll have to look into that. This is a cool one. Sound check, I'm assuming. Look at these guys.
Oh,
Check
flip
out
that
the-
around.
What's that?
Flip that around. It's a backwards. It's reversed.
Yeah, it is. I don't know how you do that. Look at Alex smoking. So do you recognize any of these guys? They got the Officer Dangles shorts. And the socks pulled up to the
Yeah,
brim.
the tube socks.
Yeah.
So guys that had shorts pulled up like that were called certain names here in New Zealand. Yeah, and they weren't nice names.
Yeah, that's a cool photo. Of course, this is a great one too. This one's really clear. There's where you can see his pants, Jay.
Somebody mentioned that they're Zubas. Remember those? Or Zubas.
Oh yeah, maybe that's it.
Maybe they were the
Zuba.
early version of those because I remember, they ended
Check
up
out
having like not the zebra, but the cheetah type stripe
Print.
pattern with like the NFL team colors on them, and that
Is
like
that
the
paint on his
weightlifters would wear
shoes?
them. Huh?
Is that paint on his shoes?
Yeah, you're right. Look at that.
Yeah,
Yep.
Blood.
Anybody got any red spray paint?
yeah. Cinderella. Pretty cool. All right, moving on. There's the horns, Altic Lansing horns that Alex used in his kit. There's another one. All right, here's some more of his gear. So this is his rack unit. Michael Landau.
Does anybody? John BL 329.86. Where was that?
Oh, I can find out.
Well, you're busy, aren't you?
He's multi.
Memphis,
faceted.
Tennessee.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yeah, remember that one?
So Michael Landau, wasn't he a studio musician? Do you see that on that box?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right, move
Wow.
on. A second, guys. Sorry, I'm not that fast with the mouse. That's a hard one to see. I couldn't find a real big picture of this one. Jay may have a better shot in his book, so we'll look at that. There's another shot of Alex with his drum kit. He's got the Bocephus hat on. You see that?
Fun of a sitch.
Do you guys know that Alex used to put 55-gallon garbage cans behind his drum kit to pee in the middle of concerts because he would drink so much beer?
I tried spotting him on the Live Without a Net show, and you can't. Maybe they kind of didn't party as much for that show for that reason. You know, they didn't want to screw it up.
He would. I wonder if they dropped like a couple of those, breath mints in there to keep the smell down.
Mm.
Is there any pictures of the garbage cans back there?
No, but I need to look for them. I was just thinking about that just now. But here's some more of the drum kit. He's going ham. Look at those sticks. They're just all taped up. More mics. I mean, that guy's got more mics than Michael Jordan. All right. There's a different shot. Here's Dugan backstage with the Jack Daniels bass. I'm not sure who that Gomer is. Hopefully he's not watching the show. Pretty cool. Let's see. Sammy doing his thing.
Yep.
Oh, he's got the Jackson in his hand there. All right, here we go, Brad. Here's a rack unit. You want to read these on the right here for me?
Rocktron 300 compressor. He's got his firm and power conditioner. What do we got there? Roland SDE 3000 delays. They were, and the Lexicon PCM 70. They were a big part of his sound, really, weren't they?
Yeah, he had two Roland delays.
And the Eventide harmonizer, which, that was around that era when he was starting to use it to spread his sound, wasn't it? To get more spread. What's that one? I can't read that. Rand's.
Yeah, Ran.
Yeah, SM26 splitter mixer. I don't know what that would be for. Maybe to split between rigs or something. Rocktron, was it RX2H Exciter Hush? Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, exciter effects not used, so he must
have
used
the noise suppressor
and a power amp at the bottom. So that that must be to run, like a power amp system for his speakers or something. I'm not sure, but that's pretty. I've never actually seen that photo until you showed this.
That's great.
And rumor has it he got the wet, dry, wet, and harmonizer set up from Steve Lukather.
Yeah.
I heard that too.
Yeah, I heard that.
There's another one of some more rack stuff. Almost done, guys.
No, dude, this is all good stuff, man.
This is
Sammy in the rafters. And originally they had a rig set up where Sammy was supposed to be on a hoist, and they were gonna bring him out on the crowd on a crane in like a harness. And they did it for the first couple practice shows and decided it was a liability, so they took it out. So Sammy decided he was just going to climb all over the place. But originally they were going to put him in a hoist and hoist him over the crowd.
Even when I watch that now, when he's running around and doing that, hanging over on the cable and stuff, I still oh, please don't fall.
Yeah.
All you need is a little bit of sweat on the bottom of those sneakers, man. Whoop!
Check out his clear guitar strap, Sammy's.
That has to be so uncomfortable.
It's got the sweat stains on it. Crazy. You guys have seen that one.
Yeah.
This is one of the backup Kramers that Eddie rarely used. But this is during the 5150 tour. That's one of the pointy headstock ones that we see Jay in the back in the rack with Zeke Clark.
Mm-hmm.
So if you notice, there's no 5150. This isn't the 918V. This is just a backup. This is a great photo. So he's got the black bandana, black pants, and then the GL2T.
And the utility belt.
And the Batman belt.
Mm-hmm.
This is such a high quality picture. I may print this sucker and frame it. I mean, it's that good.
You better okay that with the wife.
Never a skip. $5150 course. Man, his hair looks long there. I wonder, this might be
right before he cut it.
Oh yeah, that could be too. Look at the fretboard on that thing.
Ugh.
It's where the funk is.
That's how he gets the sound.
Tone. There's another one with the Steinberger and them two. I mean, look, they're just having fun, man. They like love each other.
Yeah.
If you guys see the tape he has on the top of where the headstock would be on that guitar, he had duct tape on there for his cigarettes. That's how he held them on. All right, moving on. We're almost done. There's another cool one. Both of them playing.
Go back real quick. One more.
That one?
Yeah, that one. Is that sound check? I'm just looking at what Sammy's wearing.
Oh yeah, he's wearing jeans and a t-shirt, and there's Michael running up the catwalk.
Maybe
I
not.
don't know.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Eddie looks pretty sweaty.
Yeah, he does. Yep. Sweaty Eddie.
It's funny, these guys back here on the light rig. All right, almost done, Andrew. There's another cool one, Eddie. This is another good one. 5150. There's another one of him jumping with that backup guitar. All right, here's a cool one. There's the stage. If you guys want to kind of get the broad picture of the setup of it, as you can see, it has kind of 3 tiers, looks like a pyramid. But check out all those people stage left. I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 people. There's a guy up here in the rafters. And look at Eddie down on the lower part of the stage just going ham.
Yep. That was one of the outdoor gigs.
Yeah. Now, are those sound baffles next to Alex's drum kit? Those big boxes, or are those fans?
Monitors, maybe? I don't know. It look like they have the big handles on the sides, man.
Yeah, and there's a wire coming out of them. They could be fans. He's got monitors over here to the left. Oh, that's by you can see his keyboards up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool photo. That's from the Texas Jam. You can see his...
Wow, John Biel, man.
What'd he say?
He said no. He's saying the Texas Jam. He said those are monitors.
Oh, okay.
Texas Jam '86.
Oh, okay. You sure? It looked like it had 5150 banners up here on the left.
Yeah. Wait, can you see the piss barrels on that one shot? The one photo?
No, I looked. The piss buckets?
Yeah.
Yeah, I looked. I couldn't see them. God, I hate how you have to zoom out to change the photo.
Yeah, whoever thought of that idea is stupid.
Yeah. There's another one, 5150. He's got a bunch of picks up on his mic stand, which is cool. There's another one, the Black Steinberger. Sammy's wearing green shoes in this one.
I'm thinking Eddie started the tour wearing those type of pants, but those things, they got to get hot, man.
Oh, he's probably dripping underneath those things.
Yeah, he probably got a little bit of a crotch rot.
Yeah, swamp ass.
Yeah, jock itch.
That's from the live show. Another cool one. Rounding up here. Look, he's got yellow shoes on there. Dude, he was an accessory dude.
Yeah, man.
It's a cool pick. That one.
Yeah, look at that one.
PPJT says Alex said he lost his hearing from those monitors right next to him night after night.
Oh, okay. There you go. All right, so here's the picture where you can see Eddie's amp heads underneath the stage right there.
Wow.
And someone's underwear right there.
Are they cabinets or heads? Or are they cabinets?
Cabs.
Yeah.
Which one's Sammy's though? I bet the one to the right, that's got to be Eddie's because that's on his side. Yeah. Can you see another one under there or no?
Randall, maybe right here where the underwear is. I don't know. I can't remember what brand he was using back then. I read it somewhere. I should have wrote it down.
John Biel.
Got Michael Anthony up there. That's a cool shot right there. And I think there's another one of the stage. Yeah, see, that's 5150.
Mm-hmm.
All right, there's Eddie playing his piano. I thought I would throw that in there, or his keyboard. Not sure what jersey he's wearing there. And I think that's it.
Oh!
That gets tiring doing that. I feel like a teacher with the old overhead projector and Visa marker.
The homeschooling.
When those lights went out in school, man, for any of that stuff, instantly head on the desk.
Put in a dip and he'd be spitting on the carpet. Only in America.
Oh, that was great, Kurt. Thank you.
Yeah. So in 2 weeks, we'll rank the tracks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Never a skip.
Yeah.
Yeah, every one of them.
We'll let you guys kind of go around the horn and just talk about, whatever you want. The floor's yours. Give me a break. Oh, yeah. There you go, Andrew. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
So can someone read that or not? Is that readable?
The King banner I made and threw up on stage the first night of the 2 shows in New Haven in '86. I had 8th row both nights. When the concert ended the first night, the banner was still in a ball and not opened up yet. They brought it out the second night and draped it over Eddie during the solo in 5150. They filmed Live Without a Note those 2 nights, and this clip is from that video. Also, my drawing of Eddie I did in high school that I used as a model for the banner. Thank you, what does it say? Thank you, Van Halen and John Nash, my twin brother who passed away 10 years ago, for making me the banner. One of, and that's as far as it goes.
Okay, hold on, bro. I'll just see if this is going to work.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
One of the best nights of my life. Another part of the story. They confiscated the banner at the main entrance the first night because it was a fire hazard. And they threw it in the garbage pails with the confiscated booze. Halfway through the concert the first night, I went back and stole it back in front of about 10 cops. That's cool.
We want to try to get this guy on the show to tell the story. But yeah, there it is.
Wow.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, bro, for reading that. I can't read that from here. I'm blind. Thank you.
Pretty cool. And that was like the beginning of the whole sheet and banner thing. Like, I mean, fans like Van Halen fans grasp onto anything to rally around, and like ever since that show, it's almost like they did it all the time. You know?
Yep.
What fire hazard?
Good thing they didn't throw it in Alex's piss garbage can.
Oh, taking it off. And I gotta add this, guys. You know, sometimes as fans of music and bands, you know, we like stuff, but you know, being very passionate about certain things, you're like, how can nobody else like this? But you know, I'm sure we've all had the experiences of like, you know, you're playing music or playing something, and either one of your friends or a girlfriend or whatever is like, what are you watching or what are you listening to? You know, my wife Jeannie, she is a rock fan. She likes metal, you know, all that stuff. But, you know, even when she started watching Live Without a Net when I would put it on, you know, she's not the biggest Van Halen fan. She likes Sammy, not a huge Dave fan. But even she is like, there's something about that concert, the chemistry of those guys on stage together. She's like, it's just, I can't stop. When you have it on, I can't stop watching it. And now she puts it on for the kids, you know? And it's like, it's one of those things where you can't deny greatness when it's there. And that concert is just, it's top notch, man.
Yeah. And Jay, it's one of those.
Well done, Jay.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of those DVDs you could either play in the background and be totally content, or you could sit and watch it and just be mesmerized.
Yep.
Which is cool. I did a little research while Brad was reading. Sammy Hagar's setup included a Dean, Kramer, and a Jackson guitar with a Randall 4x12 cabinet and electro voice speaker. So it was a Randall head.
Yeah, good boy. You got that right. You called it. Just one question, one silly question. So, which of the roadies would have had to empty the piss buckets? Was it the youngest one, or the one that's done the most cock ups when they were setting up the rig for the night? Because you know, I couldn't see the roadies volunteering for that job.
No. I know the answer to that.
Do you?
Yeah. You know, they had the grid system where they gave backstage passes for girls to come backstage.
Yeah.
Whoever let the first sea donkey through the back probably had to clean the piss bucket.
Oh!
Wow.
That's terrible.
And a little side note or trivia, I guess maybe, is you know, when they're messing around with the whole spray paint thing with the shoe, whatever.
Yeah.
And again, my wife caught this. I watched the thing a million times, and probably because of the low quality of all the copies that I had. But you know, when Eddie picks up a sneaker and shows it to Sammy and Mike, and then he flips it over his head and kind of does the behind the, you know, it's a striped sneaker. It's striped Converse. And you know, she's like, wait a minute, look, that's a I was like, what? You know, I just thought he picked up a sneaker and was like, whatever. It's a striped sneaker. And that's got to be where he got the idea. Somebody probably said, Ed, you gotta make those, man, you know? But it's just one of those cool things. You know, I had watched that thing a billion times, and then I didn't even notice it was a damn striped Converse. So,
right. Steve Booth, if he's still in the chat, he sent me some stuff about the shoe too as well this week. I'm trying to find it.
It would have been Alex. Yeah. Alex would have said, "Man, you gotta paint in some striped sneakers, bro." Hold on.
There's another one of the guys on the. Someone just sent this to me.
What the hell? That looks
lights.
really weird.
Right, look at Eddie. That was
can't
PJ.
tell what-
PJ just sent that to me. I don't know where, PJ, you're getting these photos. Here's another one I've never seen, Jay. Holy smokes. Oh, no, that's Valerie. I've seen that one.
Yeah.
I've seen that one.
Yeah. Yep.
It's funny that their pictures are just flooding in now.
John DL said, I saw George Lynch puking a bucket behind his amps. What? Oh, man.
Yeah, for me, man, this DVD or VHS or Laserdisc, it's like a sliver in my childhood that even when people play little clips on Instagram or on YouTube, it just immediately puts me back when I was, 10, 15 years old.
Look at that.
Oh, cool.
So these are just some pics that Pete's sending through.
And you know what
Okay.
I mentioned earlier about I'd love to see a re-release of it, with all the extra camera angles or whatever. What's that? Michael Anthony and
Alex with the shaved head.
oh my God.
Is that Toronto? Where is that?
What's on Michael Anthony's face?
He looks like
He looks like
Sting, or the wrestler.
He looks like a Buddhist Tai Chi master, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I never knew Alex shaved his head like that.
But also, besides the re-release of Live Without a Net with all the extra stuff that I think all of us would die for, I also want to see the Van Halen store come out with some of the Hagar era merch, especially the fact that we know that Eddie and Sammy kind of patched things up and everything, and just for the fans, the fans should be able to or have the opportunity to get some of that stuff again.
Right. Well, one thing you said a long time ago, I don't know if you remember it, but you wish that they would come out with the DVD where it's an interactive Blu-ray.
Yeah, choose your own camera angle type of thing.
Yeah, you can pick camera angles, or you can go to interviews or pictures. They can do all kinds of things. I mean, if they're looking to keep this thing alive, that would be a great thing to do for sure.
Yeah, and like you guys said, I mean, it's a huge part of all of our childhoods, and seeing our guitar hero actually play live at a concert. It was it was awesome.
Could they fit Unleashed and this on a Blu-ray? I mean, they could do a couple discs. That'd be cool to have Unleashed and then like alternate version of Live Without a Net on a Blu-ray. Just like the ultimate package, That'd be awesome.
Yeah, dude. I wonder who has the footage.
Warner Brothers, it's got to be. Warner Brothers.
Well, if anybody's
Unless-
watching and they want some people to for ideas of what they want included,
Yeah.
we got some people here that can get you started.
You'd think they would be itching for some content to sell.
I'm wondering what would happen. Like, would they need to get Warner Brothers? Do they have total control over all that stuff at the moment, or do the Van Halen estate still have control over the Warner Brothers? I'm not sure at this.
That's a good question. I mean, it might, the whole thing with like master tapes might be different than the video stuff. I have no idea who would own it.
Yeah. I'm assuming if Warner Brothers was behind making this VHS, they probably own the content. And they had that fire a few years ago. Who knows if the masters were ruining that? I would hate for that to happen, but
see, I would think, and this is obviously just me speculating, but if I was in a band as big as Van Halen or some of the other bands that lost master tapes in that fire, considering we've had the digital recording thing since the mid 90s.
90s, right?
You would think that by now or before that, somebody would have said, "Hey, send somebody down. I want everything copied over on hard drives, and everything, just to have a copy of it. Have a digital copy just in case something does happen." And I don't know. I would think that you'd want to be able to pull some of those sessions up in Pro Tools and kind of mess around with things. That's what I'd like to do, at least. But
dedicated tracks and stuff, that would be insane live. Whew.
Well, they did it with the Roth era stuff for the Van Halen Guitar Hero.
Yep.
They had the stems from all that, so somebody had to get the those files.
They would have needed permission for that too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, definitely.
And for some reason, there's a small inkling that tells me that there was a little bit of beef between Eddie and Sammy for a small period of time from 2004 till they made up. And I think that's the reason why they didn't remaster 5150 and OU812 and Forunlawfulcarnalknowledge.
Yeah.
I think Eddie didn't want, Sammy to, and I'm speculating, but I think there was a little bit of remorse there between the two with the whole Cabo Wabo thing and the tequila, where that's one of the reasons why they didn't re-release some of that stuff, is because they didn't.
And the book.
They had the whole lawsuit thing with Dave when they re-released stuff and he wasn't getting full credit. So I think there was some stuff behind the scenes that maybe we didn't hear about or don't know about as to why they didn't release some of that Sammy stuff. A
little bit of animosity as well with the Michael and Anthony, like playing with Sammy and continuing on that path. And I think Michael Anthony obviously got a bit of a raw deal through all that when he had to sign over the rights to them and stuff like that, wasn't it? Something like that, to that effect. So yeah, they went through a pretty dark patch doing all that stuff, in my opinion. But it's a pity they never really, somehow managed to navigate their issues and move forward. Like from Balance, don't get me wrong, I'm glad we got what we got from the Van Halen camp after Balance, but I would have loved to have seen more stuff with Sammy at the helm. It would have been amazing. Like you go from an album like Balance, and which is right up there as one of my favorite Van Halen records. The what ifs always come into my brain. What if they had kept together and navigated through their issues and got through them and continued on with Sammy at the helm? I mean, imagine maybe a follow-up to Balance might have even been an even bigger album again, in my opinion. But, they're all sort of, we know Ed had his demons and he was navigating through that himself. So, unfortunately, the what if is all we can think of.
Yeah.
I would have given anything to see Van Halen live with Sammy at the front. Like, I got to see Van Halen 3 with Gary, and it was an amazing show. Did a great job. But, for me, I never got to see the lineup that got me heavily into Van Halen, which sucks. But at least we have the music, I guess. But I've always wondered if they managed to have sorted out their issues after Balance, what would the next album have been like? Would it have been like Van Halen 3, or would it continued on like Balance direction, a little bit heavier? And because to me, their Carnal Knowledge and Balance are pretty heavy records. They've got a bit of darkness to them, and
they do.
They're big sounding records. And it's when Michael Anthony and Alex Van Halen were showcased the best they've ever been showcased, in my opinion. The sound wise, they're right up front. Alex's drumming was phenomenal. The sounds were phenomenal. I still reckon Carnal Knowledge and Balance are the best two drum sounds on any Van Halen record, without doubt.
Yeah.
So,
and real quick,
and
in the chat,
hey,
Pete sent Andrew and I an audio of Rock Candy on the 5150 tour, so I look forward to hearing that. We'll share it with you guys. Luca Ferras also said that Sammy's going to be playing OU812 in its entirety.
Yep, saw that.
Cool. Wow. I didn't hear that.
I saw that earlier. I thought somebody was like not making a joke, but somebody was kind of, making a joke. Yeah, I guess it's true. I didn't hear that.
Yeah. I think he's gonna highlight some of that stuff right now, especially now that he's got that new, Hagar Van Hagar and a half Instagram page. I think they're gonna highlight some of that era for sure, because if I was him, I would be walking that line too.
Yeah.
Well, he was as big a part of that as anybody. So, and that's one other thing when you mentioned Brad about when they had their issues and the animosity, and Kurt, you mentioned it as well. According to Sammy, around what time would it have been? 2014, somewhere around there, when Eddie, supposedly according to Sammy, was trying to stop Michael and Sammy from playing Van Hagar era material live. And it's like, whoa, like if somebody is a songwriter on that music, they have as much as they can play it wherever they want to.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's crazy to think that he would even put his foot down like that, but you never know. He was going through a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
The captain just sent me this real quick to show you guys.
Oh, wow. What a great picture.
He took that.
Did you take this?
That's what he says. Picture that I took.
Damn, what were you like on the floor under him?
He's like in his jock.
Yeah, in his pants.
That's a great picture. Man, you need
very
to see
early on Music Man right there too, isn't it?
What an era.
Yeah.
What an era.
I need to get a high def version of that. I want to get that framed.
$99.99. $99.99. You can buy it.
$99.99.
First row, he says.
Wow.
Captain, do you have the negative of that?
Negative Ghost Rider. The pattern's full.
Yeah, it looks like a digital photo. Maybe it's taken on an old digital camera. Fantastic.
Did you actually? Oh, maybe this is. I don't know. I thought he like snapped a photo of a photo. Maybe not.
Well, Jay.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, man. It was a
pleasure.
pleasure.
You're kicking me out, huh? I see how.
No, we have a kind of a hard stop. I know we're past it, so I just want to personally thank you for joining. I was afraid you were going to say no, but it was awesome having you.
Why would I say no? This is like, well, thank you for asking me. This was fun.
As soon as we came up with this topic, you were the first person I thought of, just because I know how impactful this era and this VHS is to you. So,
yeah.
No, thanks for coming on, Jay. It's been great meeting you and hearing all your stories. I mean, I've watched the Johnny Bean show that many times, but it's different when you're sort of in this format, talking live to someone to get to know them, I guess. So, yeah, it's cool.
Awesome. Yeah, it's cool absolutely. To again, I know when I started doing the show with those guys, and I think Kurt, you mentioned it, like to meet and hang out, even though we haven't really met. But just to sit here and hang out with you guys that have like the same type of interest and passion as much as I do, because for a long time I'm like, am I nuts that I'm that like obsessed with watching something a million times and listening to the same album, just over and over again? Like, am I crazy? No, we're crazy.
You're not crazy, mate. I think everyone that's it's funny because we've had this discussion with other people that have come on. We're all in different parts of the world. We've never met each other in person, but we all sort of have this common interest, and we're all nerds with it. So it's great to communicate with like-minded souls. It's great.
And Brad, just so you know, Jay's first time seeing Van Halen live, was it 93 or 92?
93, yeah.
93.
Yeah, wow.
My first concert ever was Van Halen, and it was like a surreal experience. I mean, when you go from seeing somebody on posters and magazines on MTV on Live on a Net, and then going to see them and they're in front of you. I mean, by the time Van Halen hit the stage, it was so hot that we couldn't even be in the crowd. We moved to the back, but it was still like just a surreal experience of like, wow, that's, you know, a band that I've been a fan of, you know, ever since my brother got me into them when I was a kid. And it was just a crazy, surreal experience seeing that person in the same place as you playing music. It was like, whoa. And I was 15 or 14.
Wow.
Yeah,
Right?
I was too
You know,
young.
16. It might have been 16 then. 16 years old.
Yeah, 93. You probably were. I should have. I'm kicking myself for not going. I was probably old enough to go, but I didn't. Balance was my first one, but damn it, I should have went because they came to Seattle. I should have went to 93 or 92. But what was the first song they played? Do you remember?
Mine, All Mine.
Oh,
Yeah. That show is on YouTube. That exact concert is on YouTube.
one of my favorite solos.
I'll have to go check that out.
Yeah.
93, was it?
Mm-hmm. It was July 5th or 6th
I'll tell you.
of 93. Orange County Fairgrounds, Middletown, New York.
That would have been the Right Here, Right Now tour, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep, Sammy had the goatee rocking.
Yeah. See, Andrew and I here we're extremely jealous. I can tell Andrew's the same as me right now. We're sitting here just going, how dare you have gone to see them live in that era.
Well, that was,
County.
I believe that was Sammy's. And I don't want to say this the wrong way, but when I watched, because I saw him on the Balance tour twice, and when you watch clips of that tour, you know, some of the stuff they had to tune down a half step, and just I don't think he was as in shape as he was as you know prior, you know, the previous tours.
I think that, you know,
July 6th.
July 6th? Okay.
July 6th, okay. So Carnal Knowledge era and the year or two after that, I personally think that's the era and that's the sound for Van Halen to me. That's the best. Any footage I've seen from that era, the records around that era are just fantastic. To me, like Carnal Knowledge was like, it was my first record that I rushed out to buy when it was freshly printed from Van Halen, and that's why, maybe, I don't know.
Could be, yeah.
But I can listen to that record over and over and over and never get sick of it. Never a skip.
Never a skip.
It's I don't know, I've made it pretty public on this you know format that it's definitely my all-time favorite Van Halen record, Carnal Knowledge.
That was the first, and I don't mean to drag the show on, guys. I apologize if I'm doing that, but now I'm getting really pumped. But Brad, it's the first Van Halen record that came out when I was like, you know, let's see, 91, so I was 14. So I was of the age of like being a super fan at that point. You know, OU812 came out, and I was 11, and my brother skipped school to get it and all that stuff. And I remember he, you know, got the tape. I remember listening to the tape the same day. You know,
Yep.
I liked Van Halen, but I wasn't at that stage of my life where a super fan of music and band, you know. So Carnal Knowledge was my first record as well of like, oh my God, you know, my brother bought it. I didn't have the money at the time. Me and him both went to get it together. But like, it was still that first album experience of a band that I loved that came out, you know, while I was in that type of, I'm starting to ramble now. I apologize.
No, I can remember, you know, I was just telling someone last night about me running from my TAFE course. I was doing an apprenticeship and I had a half-hour break in my lunch break, so I ran from my TAFE course. It was a 40-minute return run, and I made it in half an hour. I ran there, grabbed this LP, and running back listening on my Sony Discman, the yellow one. And I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I got in the car and on the drive home, and I actually stopped driving and just sat there and listened to the whole album in my car, just sitting next to a beach, just sitting there listening to the album, just reading the liner notes from start to finish.
Staring at the photo, just taking the whole thing in as an experience. Andrew, let me ask you then. What was the first Van Halen album that came out when you were at that stage of your life where you were like, oh my God, the new Van Halen album's coming out?
5150.
Okay.
You know, I'd been listening to Diverdown when I was at high school. You know, I remember that coming out, but and 84. But certainly after just hearing the hype when Sammy was in Van Halen, hearing the single, and you know, getting that album was just phenomenal. I'm with you guys. I love all the eras of Van Halen, but I'm a Sammy guy. I'll admit that. If anyone's a regular with the show, it's obvious. It's obvious, you know. But you know, it's just the way that it is. But So, you know, 5150, and then you know, obviously Balance. I remember vividly, you know, buying that Balance. You know, like you guys.
I skipped school to buy Balance.
Me too. Yep. Skip school for that one.
Carnal knowledge. Yeah, you know, I remember the people I was with. You know, this I was hanging out with this Indian guy called Hamant Patel, and he was listening to
Get him on the show.
Long story, but he was listening to you know that bloody techno stuff was slowly coming, and I remember giving him shit about it, saying, you know,
EBM.
You know, who listens to this stuff? And we were driving to you know, to go and get carnal knowledge. Yeah, it's interesting, but I don't know anything else about what he was doing after.
Who cares, right?
Yeah. But look, I appreciate you jumping on, Jay. I just wanted to jump in there a couple of times just to give you my little rundown and say thank you for jumping on board. But I just want to add something else, and I don't want to forget it because Brad mentioned it earlier, and I think it might be important to the show. Brad mentioned about how with Human Beings and some of the music that Van Halen were doing around that time, the music was getting darker, more experienced. I think when Sammy came into Van Halen and those first couple of albums, I think they reflect a little bit about what the Beatles were doing early on, you know, singing about girls, singing about, you know, happy stuff and all that. And then a little bit later on, when the Beatles were getting introspective because of experience and these other things that you get as an individual, but also as a band, that they were starting to get more sophisticated with their music and their songwriting. Loved it. Wish they'd carried on for another couple of albums.
Yeah,
would have been wonderful. Yeah.
Sorry, I had to close the blinds, guys.
Yeah.
No,
thank you.
We just wanted the crutch shot. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you for letting me say that.
No worries, Andrew. And yeah, thanks for joining us, Jay. It's been awesome.
Well, thank you guys, man. It's cool to you know, with obviously with being on Johnny's show and channel and stuff. It's nice that it's a super cool community of people that, you know, watch all these shows and you know, and just it's super cool, and I'm happy that you guys invited me on for this one.
Thank you. And there's a couple of shout outs that we always want to do. So we want to do a shout out to Fruitcake Tony. He's been in the chat. He's a brother of Van Halen's community. We love Tony. Thank you, Jay, because we love Daddy Bean, because Daddy Bean is the reason why we're here. He was the guy that gave us the idea of at least jumping on air and doing something a little bit similar to what you guys were doing. We love talking about Van Halen. Brad and I are going to be on tomorrow around this time with Rock Professor Simon talking about the Rolling Stones. Never a skip, 10 out of 10. Rolling Stones, biggest banquet. So always appreciate you, Jay. You always seem to jump into the chat, and Johnny, or you know, on those shows. We always appreciate the shout outs. Thanks for supporting our channel.
Well, I'm happy you guys are finally marketing the never a skip saying.
Yes.
Because the first time I heard you, and it's beautiful with the accent. Kurt, when you say it,
I can't do it.
With the accent, there's just something about it. It's like, man, That's awesome. And then obviously, you know, I never wanted you guys, if you watch the show when we would kind of say it and laugh, I was like, man, I hope those guys don't think we're like making fun of them, because it's not what it is at all. The way it's said, it's perfect. And I'm like, that should be, and I was like, that should be the name of the damn show or the channel. You know, it's awesome. So
yeah.
10 out of 10.
Caleb gave us a heads up. He jumped on. He was in the chat watching and contributing when we were doing a show, and he jumped on and he gave us a heads up, and he said, look, if you guys ever go back and watch a show, you know, we're not giving you guys grief. We're saying it fondly.
Yes.
So appreciate it.
Jay, they try to talk like us when we're not around, so it's insane.
Why would they ever try to talk like us lame birds over here, man?
They do.
Jesus.
Yeah, when Kurt's not around, this is what we do. This is what we do when Kurt's not around. Oh.
So Jay, that was an unboxing where I unboxed a neck for my Bumblebee.
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
I literally was like, oh my God, this thing feels so good. And they screenshotted it right at the right time.
Well, you look like
no, the real story was Kurt didn't realize that he'd switched his camera off.
Yeah, right.
You look like you're like 50 pounds heavier in that photo. Go back to that real quick.
Well, I've got a lap band since. It was 3 weeks ago.
Oh.
No, he lost.
Look like you.
He lost it. Let's just say he lost a lot of weight after the stroke in the neck.
A lot of water weight.
He's been crabbing.
Water weight.
Oh God. I'm glad I can come on here and take a beating.
You know what, Kurt? You're a good sport. You're a good sport.
I'll keep it clean, Brad.
Well, again, thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Awesome.
And,
Who's good?
Yeah.
So we're back in a fortnight with Jay. We're going to do the rankings, guys. Of the. Are we going to rank the drum solo and the bass solo, or should just skip them?
Fruitcake Tony's going to join us.
Yeah. Are we gonna rank the drum solo?
We're going to rank every damn track on that thing.
Well, let me ask you. Hold on. Let me ask the question. If you don't rank the drum solo or the bass solo, then you can't rank the guitar solo. So you got to do them all, right?
Right.
Oh, okay. Good point. We've got to have a couple of skips.
The bass solo.
That bass solo, yeah, jeepers. Oh.
They were filling in the cracks. They didn't have a lot of songs to highlight, so they had to do whatever they could.
Did Michael Anthony get a bass solo on any tour before that, or was that the first one?
I think he started doing a small bass solo in Fair Warning.
Okay.
But it was small, like 4 minutes. Because remember, didn't he do one for the US Festival? I think he did.
All right.
We'll have to ask Alan Garber. He'll tell me.
Okay, cool. Who's going to do the shout out to
Brad? You got the chat up.
Simon. Hey, Simon. How you going? See you tomorrow. Hey, Simon. Lenny Lou. Mark Tanner. Who else? Michael Smith. Fruitcake Tony. Halensville. Go make sure you go and subscribe and watch Fruitcake Tony there. Lenny Lou. I think I said Lenny Lou. Who else we got? Samuel. We've got Ellen. Mark Tanner. If I forget anyone, guys, I apologize. Johnny Bean. Daddy Bean. Make sure you go and subscribe to Johnny Bean if you're not already on there.
And tomorrow night, well, I don't want to. You guys do it tomorrow night too, so I'm not going to.
Do a plug.
Huh?
Do a plug.
Plug it.
Well, if you guys have a show at the same time?
No. Ours is after yours usually.
Ours starts at midnight tomorrow.
I'm not sure whether that crosses over ours or not. But we're not doing Van Halen or anything like that. It's completely different anyway.
Well, tomorrow, Saturday Night Live with your host John Biel on Johnny Bean TV at midnight Eastern.
There you go.
And I won't be this coherent. I promise.
I want to give a special shout out to Cobra Kai, Pete 5150, Steve Booth, and then Mike M for joining earlier. Good buddies of mine via social media.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're in his list here. Grant Fisher.
They're probably asleep, but they'll watch the replay.
They'll watch the replay. I may have missed some people now because I've lost my chat. Hang on. Steve, B5150, Luca. Who else?
My name is Luca. I live on the 7th floor.
PJT. Who's that? I can't remember. Is that
He's your buddy in Australia.
That's Pete.
Oh, yeah. John BL. Thank you. I'm just seeing the Cobra Kai, as Kurt said. My chat stopped. It won't go any further than that. But if I've missed anyone, thank you so much for joining us. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and join us in 2 weeks' time for ranking the tracks on Live Without a Net. And it's never a skip.
Let's do a thumbnail pic as we exit out of here, so we don't have my lumberjack photo on there.
Hold on.
I haven't got my copy.
Hold up your guitar, Jay.
How about hold on? How about this? I didn't get to show this off, but whatever.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh, next time. All right, thumbnail. And we always want to do a special shout out because we know that he watches our shows, to our friend Warren, who is going through some treatment. We wish you well, brother.
Yeah. And Kurt, and we're going to highlight his pink pants.
That should be the thumbnail for the.
I got it, bro. When I go and have some dinner and I take my dog for a walk, I'll go back and I'll edit this and we'll get that. We'll get that.
Oh, I know you do.
We'll get that so that everyone can go. Oh. Okay, we're out of here.
Bah.
Thanks for joining us, guys. Thanks, Jay.
Thank you, guys.
What